Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Survival in the Magic Sea. I have a god-level talent. Chapter 31. The silk disappeared, and there were 2 copies of silk in the space of the ring. Good. Su Mu picked up the ring and threw wood, metal and other space-occupied items into the ring. Finally, there is no need to worry about these supplies sinking the ship. Back in the Ark, Su Mu took out the traded items. Obtain. Strong Enchanted Book 3. Obtain. Heavy Enchanted Book 1. Obtain. Timber 80. Sturdy Enchanted Books are enough, the rest is heavy, and there are still 7 heavy enchanted books. Metal is easy to talk about, but now 100 milliliters of water can be exchanged for a piece of metal. It seems that many people have obtained water purifiers. Yes, it has been 4 days. Those without water resources have died. Su Mu took out the water collected for 4 hours from morning till now. A total of 1,100 milliliters. Trader. Su Mu. Trading item. 200 milliliters of water. Requirements. Refined grade alloy. Alloys are used to upgrade the alchemy tool table. Thinking of the tool table, Su Mu opened the newly added Arc upgrade bar to see what materials are needed to upgrade the Arc. System prompt. Your Arc is already at the highest level. Before the upgrade of the Magic Sea, you cannot continue to upgrade. What? Su Mu's heart trembled. Will this Magic Sea be upgraded? It's already very difficult now. If you upgrade again, is it really going to drive humans to death? The objection came from the Sixth Sense. No, Demon Sea needs humans, otherwise this game would not be launched. There must be a chance of life here. Or, here is the game, dead people can also be resurrected. Without intelligence, the Sixth Sense cannot perceive anything. Do not care. Su Mu clicked on the transaction bar and continued to put water on the shelves. Trader. Su Mu. Trading item. 100 milliliters of water. Requirements. Metal. Inventory. 9. Soon, the water that needed the metal was looted. There are still a lot of resources like metal. No one will take action on fine-grade metal, and Su Mu is not in a hurry. Drive the Ark to the distance, there is a small island there. Suddenly, Su Mu saw a small boat floating on the sea in the distance. Look in the past, maybe there will be an encounter with endless aftertaste. Driving the Ark to the bottom of the sea, Su Mu approached the sailboat from underwater. Soon the huge whale came under the sailboat. Steel sailboat, about 15 meters long and 6 meters wide. 2 white sails, and a pair of oars. There is a simple cabin on the boat, which can provide people with shelter from wind and rain. Is this a normal person's ship? This is the first time Su Mu saw other people's arcs. He killed someone before and got a shrunken version of the arc. The things on the boat are neatly arranged, and it seems that its owner is a clean person. On the boat, Chi Yu panicked. From her angle, she happened to see a black shadow twice the size of the sailboat dormant underwater. Everyone says there are sharks in the sea, but no one says there are whales. Sharks, Chi Yu still has the confidence to fight, but even whales, the small boning knife in his hand is not worthy of being used as a toothpick. It's over, is it over? Are you going to die here today? Chi Yu leaned helplessly against the side of the boat, recalling her life. On my first birthday, I took over my grandfather's hunting knife and survived in the wild with the equipment for the first time. Since then, I have fallen in love with the feeling of survival in the wilderness. First unprotected rock climbing, first wingsuit flight, first. The corners of Chi Yu's mouth turned up slightly. It can be said that her 18-year life was much more exciting than that of ordinary girls, and even many adults were not as good as her. But Chi Yu's face collapsed again. I haven't met a man I like, and I haven't touched a boy's little hand, hugged, kissed, alas, life is such a failure. The whale passed the skiff and began to rise. Chi Yu held the boning knife in her hand. No matter what, she still wanted to struggle. Animals like whales did not impress her as cruel. Is this whale wrong? The silvery white whale slowly emerged from the water. Although the Ark whale is similar to a whale, it is not a real whale after all, and it is a bit rigid. Su Mu climbed out from the skylight, holding a tang knife in his left hand and a hand crossbow in his right. Even if he has a sixth sense, he needs to be cautious without knowing the opponent's strength. A beauty, a very beautiful beauty. The enemy is not strong, there is no sense of danger, but there is hostility, the beauty is very wary of you. Attention, you may be attacked like a storm. Su Mu stared at the girl, 18 years old, with exquisite appearance, not the kind of lady, but with a good figure, and every muscle contained strength. What's more striking is that she has a pair of small crimson horns on her head. The horns grow out of her forehead, sticking to her hair and growing towards the back of her head. Strange bloodline, rare talent. Chi Yu didn't recognize Su Mu immediately, but raised the boning knife in his hand and made a fighting posture. The whale turned out to be an ark, and the visitor was not kind. Could it be that they were robbing resources? Chi Yu subconsciously took a look at the resources of the boat. She is of Qilin blood, born with auspiciousness, luck is much better than others, and she has a lot of supplies. It's normal to be targeted, but there are crossbows to deal with. Subconsciously, Chi Yu touched a potion in his pocket. Crazy potion. After drinking it, the activation will fall into a state of madness, and the combat power will be tripled within an hour. Hey, beauty. Su Mu waved his hand politely, but he had a knife in his hand. In Chi Yu's eyes, this was provocation. Attention, the woman in front of me is more hostile. No danger. The corners of Su Mu's eyes twitched. He was hostile, but not dangerous. Is he too strong? Su Mu took out a big coconut. Do you have anything to sell? 58 coconuts. Su Mu really couldn't eat them, and was afraid they would be spoiled, so they were good for trading. HMPH, I don't need it. In fact, Chi Yu's saliva is almost lingering. Coconut, fruit, I haven't eaten fruit for a long time. Su Mu picked up the knife, clicked it, cut open the coconut, dried the coconut juice inside, and put the remaining pulp on the shell of the ark. Shu Tan, you really don't want it. Chi Yu stubbornly shook her head, swallowed subconsciously, really wanting it. I still have a lot, you really don't want it. Everyone has no shortage of water resources, but fruits are still rare items, followed by weapons and medicines. This is the perception of the future provided by the sixth sense. She is moved, but afraid. Seeing the pretense, Su Mu took out a big coconut. Beauty, do you have any fine grade alloys? A fine alloy is exchanged for a coconut. I may be unlucky. I have never seen a fine alloy. Chi Yu opened the ARC upgrade interface. Fine alloy is an important upgrade material. Among them, the first and second levels are to strengthen the hull strength of the sailboat, and the third and fourth levels are to increase the volume of the ark. A mechanical whale of such a size in front of him looks like a mutant, and it has reached at least level 4. Chi Yu sneered. I'm not stupid, the upgrade of the ark requires fine alloys, how could you have never seen it? Su Mu pointed to the whale below him. My thing is so different from yours, no matter how you look at it, it can't be upgraded normally. Chi Yu was speechless. The person on the opposite side was right. The person in front of him had an extraordinary opportunity. He was probably here to make a deal. But she was also afraid that during the transaction, the opposite side would ambush herself and turn her into a lamb waiting to be slaughtered, a chopping board fish. Finally, boil yourself, steam, and then spicy. Watching the World Channel recently, some crazy guys have started hunting humans. Suddenly, there was a howl of an eagle, and Ying Zhang couldn't bear the loneliness and came out. And cast a dangerous look at the girl in the distance. This woman is hostile to her master, do you want to kill her? Single quote. Chi Yu was taken aback by the raptor, and in horror, she held the boning knife. You finally showed your fox tail. As everyone knows, Ying Zhang Protector, as soon as he saw the knife, immediately assumed an attacking posture. The momentum of the eagle sauce is like a mountain, and it is like an ancient fierce bird. Chi Yu felt that she had turned into a chicken, and an irrepressible fear came from her soul. The wild boar she had killed was just a lamb in front of the eagle. I fought with you. A perfect misunderstanding has formed, hee. Su Mu rubbed between her brows. Wait a minute, I just want to do business and buy something, can we not get excited? Chi Yu didn't answer, but stared at Ying Zhang. Compared with Su Mu, this eagle was more dangerous. At this time, it must not be easy to get such a big ark and pets. Must have done a lot of shady things. Ying Zhang looked at Chi Yu with contempt, soared into the sky and circled in the sky. I fought with you. Chi Yu thought that Ying Zhang was going to attack, so he took out the madness potion and poured it into his mouth. A violent breath began to pervade. The cute girl ate the berserk potion. Attention, attention, attention. Potions can be obtained again, but there is only one life. Chi Yu doesn't seek to defeat the enemy in front of him, but only seeks to frighten him away. Suddenly, a mischievous flame drilled into my mind. Chi Yu's face turned red. Hey, this potion, terrible. Danger and opportunity coexist. If you stay, you will encounter the most violent attack ever, but you will also get an unexpected benefit. Leave, you will get nothing. Note, Berserk Potion triples combat effectiveness. A strange premonition came from the sixth sense. The fiery flame burned Chi Yu's will, and madness surged into every cell of her. Come on, let's fight. Chi Yu's face was red, and she tried her best to control her body, but finally she couldn't resist. In a pair of phoenix eyes, there is an irrepressible aggression. Su Mu noticed the information from the sixth sense, and his face changed for the first time. Something is wrong. Now in this world, wolves are chasing sheep. How can there be sheep desperately trying to get into the wolf's mouth? Today, see you. Is this woman trying to take my property? Su Mu turned and ran, but it was too late. A jade hand fell from the sky, and pressed Su Mu down in a cruel gesture. Tear. Su Mu finally understood why she got the silk reward. The wind blows the fragrance of rice flowers, and the small river flows. Raised in the Black Land, hard-working people. Su Mu has no power to resist in the face of triple combat power, and does not want to resist. As for the eagle sauce, looking around in the sky, murderous, anyone who dares to approach this sea area will definitely be torn to pieces by him with the most cruel gesture. The prestige of the raptor is undoubtedly evident. Facing a woman who has lost her will and only knows how to fight, Su Mu is really speechless. Try to keep her alive. Then let's fight. Su Mu's sixth sense was fully activated, and he suppressed it with all his strength, intending to delay the time, and it would be enough to last for an hour. I'm sorry. After an hour, Su Mu sat on the side, leaning on his chin with his hands. Who knows how he survived this hour? Can't kill, can't hurt. Well, are you okay? Chi Yu was ashamed to see anyone. By the way, what did you want to trade just now? Su Mu took out a perfect silk. Remember to give the money, a fine grade alloy. Okay. Chi Yu handed over a piece of alloy. Acquisition. Perfect silk 1. Chi Yu staggered and almost fell off the bed. Perfect grade. Are you going to trade this thing? This is all I have. The sixth sense tells me that you need it. By the way, do you have the blueprints for the pants? I do not have either. Chi Yu is about to cry. What's the matter? I don't want to live anymore. Su Mu pondered for a while, and contacted Qin Fangfang. The pants were torn just now. Fortunately, the upper body is scale armor. Are you there? Do you have any blueprints for the whole body? Qin Fangfang looked at the blueprint of the suit she had just opened in her hand and fell silent. Boss, are you a prophet? Trader. Qin Fangfang. Trade item. Ordinary sportswear. Requirements. None. Boss, here we go. I opened 2 sets. Su Mu conveniently sent a coconut over, which belonged to resources and could not be taken for nothing. Ordinary sportswear. Clothes made of hemp have no effect and can only be used to hide shame. Requirement. Hemp 5, silk thread 2. Su Mu didn't meet Ma, so she asked Chi Yu, do you have Ma? Of course I have a mother. Chi Yu got angry, grabbed Su Mu's arm and took a bite, but unfortunately, only a few drops of saliva were left on it. After tossing for an hour, I have no energy. Hiss. Chi Yu suddenly bent into a big shrimp. Su Mu hurried up to check. This was his first woman, although the process was not very good. But I still don't want anything to happen to this girl. Go away. Chi Yu pushed Su Mu away. Su Mu had no choice but to ask again, do you have hemp? Material. Hemp. And silk thread. Enduring the pain, Chi Yu took out 20 hemp and 10 silk threads and put them on the ground. Seriously, you have such a big boat and it's so empty inside, it's a waste. Su Mu chuckled, taking out a coconut from the air and putting it in front of Chi Yu. Chi Yu was stunned. Do you have other space equipment? Su Mu didn't answer, and didn't want to answer. Manufacture. Consumption. Hemp 10, silk thread 4. Obtain. Ordinary sportswear 2. Handing over a set of sportswear, Su Mu asked Chi Yu to collect her ark, and then took her to the next island. Food is running out. While driving, the door opened. Ying Zhang came in dragging a big fish. Acquisition. Excellent fish 8. Meet again. Su Mu is tired of eating meat, it seems like some fruit. The cherry tomatoes in the window are growing just right, but unfortunately, it will take another 6 days to mature. Since the medicinal materials are growing gratifyingly, it is estimated that they will be harvested in a short time. Chi Yu didn't understand, so he was taken aback. This eagle can hunt by itself, that's good, with such a pet, there is no need to worry about food. After half an hour, Chi Yu recovered a little vitality, but the medicine was too strong, and she suffered. Looking around, the room is very simple, an ordinary bed, but the bedding on it is very extraordinary. There were 6 flower pots beside the window. As an outstanding field master of Chushang, she recognized at a glance that there were 4 medicinal herbs and 2 cherry tomato seedlings inside. Looking at the side, there are 2 big boxes, one of which is dripping water. Huh, water purifier. You actually have a water purifier. Chi Yu's eyes lit up. From the current point of view, this man is still very good. At least he didn't take advantage of her weakness to do anything. Well, it seems that everything that should be done has been done. Chi Yu put on her clothes and staggered to Su Mu's side. How about it? Have you considered it? Think about what? Chi Yu lightly tapped Su Mu's shoulder. Be a little boy who eats soft food. Chi Yu is very loyal to the concept of love, and will only love one in her life. Although this love is a bit unexpected. But she could tell that Su Mu was not a bad person, it was a girl's 6th sense, and after getting Qilin's blood, her sense became even more acute. It was the first time I came to this world by myself, and I was so excited when I saw people for the first time. Moreover, who would have thought that triple combat power would be added to that kind of thing? Promise her and become her man. If you don't agree, you will be beaten up, and then this girl will commit suicide. Su Mu stops the arc to turn on the 6th sense. Qilin's bloodline, a fairy product, is extremely rare. A person is wandering in the sea, and a person is indeed lonely. Seeing Su Mu hesitate, Chi Yu said, "My name is Chi Yu, a wild survival expert. You will be mine from now on, and I will protect you well. No one dares to bully you." Su Mu rubbed her chin. Just met someone who is a fairy talent. Fairy, god talent is all bad. What kind of gaze is that? Do you know, in the whole world, I am the only one with immortal talent that I know of. Chi Yu looked at Su Mu, whose face remained unchanged, and felt a little bit in his heart. This person wouldn't want to abandon him, would he? That's right, so many things happened suddenly to a person who had never met before, and it was on his own initiative. The more he thought about Chi Yu, the more panicked he became, and a wave of despair welled up in his heart. The girl is on the verge of collapse. Su Mu sighed. My name is Su Mu, nice to meet you. What? Chi Yu was stunned, completely stunned, as if struck by lightning. Su Mu, Boss Su, Rich Su, what did I do, that I wanted to take care of Rich Su? What qualifications do you have to support Su Dafu? Su Mu glanced at the boning knife in Chi Yu's hand. I still sell your knife, 2 heavy enchanting books. Chi Yu looked at the boning knife that was about to use herself. This knife had saved her life at a critical moment and brought her unexpected benefits. Since you are Boss Su, you are so rich, why don't you have Ma? Chi Yu still had doubts in her heart. Probably because ordinary materials don't need it. Su Mu also felt evil. He didn't have many ordinary items, and there were a lot of items against the sky, probably caused by the so-called supreme luck. If someone else said that, Chi Yu would definitely shoot him to death, but if it was Su Mu, he couldn't refute. As the first boss to obtain a non-level item, anything is possible. Go back and rest. Those 2 big boxes, one is a water purifier and the other is a water condenser. They can produce 8,000 milliliters of water per day, which is enough for you and me. You can take the bakui fish too. There is a grill next to it, perfect grade. There is a little seasoning next to the grill. You can make your own barbecue. My side is about to reach the next island, and I still need to fully deal with the matter in front of me. Chi Yu didn't continue to persevere, she was too tired and needed to rest. Su Mu sighed, he is shy when it comes to love. Congratulations to myself, I have obtained a love that will never change until death. Ah, in this day and age, it's a miracle to get such a love and a lover who is still so beautiful. It's good luck. Su Mu controlled the boat to move forward. During this time, there was still one beast core, and the boat could continue to travel another 50 kilometers. I hope there are some monsters with beast cores in this sea area. Forget it, it's important. Upgrade. Alchemy tool table. Consumption. Fine grade alloy 1, fine grade wood 1, fine grade silk thread 1. Obtain. Level 2 alchemy tool table. The bracelet on his hand began to change color and turned into a black wristband with a slightly metallic texture. There was a mysterious golden symbol on the wristband. Translated as Creation and Synthesis. Level 2 alchemy tool table. The production limit has been raised to the epic level, and the ability to enchant oneself has been obtained. Important system reminder. The first enchanted book is very important. The Sixth Sense issued a prompt. Magic armor. If you use this book as the first enchanted book, you will get unexpected benefits. Su Mu silently took out a black enchanted book, the enchanted book of magic armor, the enchanted book obtained by killing the headless horseman of the professional island. System prompt. The magic armor enchanting book was found. It is one of the top starting enchanting books. Is it enchanted? Enchanting consumption. Beast core 1, magic armor enchanting book 1. Enchanting consumption. Beast core 1, magic armor enchanted book 1. Acquired ability. Demon armor comes. Upgradable. Demon armor descends. Summons the mysterious magic armor to possess, increases all attributes by 2 times, lasts for 8 seconds, and cools down for 10 minutes. Not bad. Come to the new island, which is very big, park the ark next to it, and prepare to shrink. System prompt. There are humans in the ark, so it cannot be put away. Su Mu asked Ying Zhang to guard the ark, and went to the beach alone. First explore the surroundings, and after the sixth sense confirms that there is no danger, Su Mu stands on the beach. The magic armor is coming. Streaming light flickered on his body, and a metal armor covered his whole body like flowing water. Kind of cool. Su Mu looked towards the sea, and there was a handsome guy inside. Golden helmet, red eye patch, black leather jacket with pale gold breastplate, golden shoulder pads, pale gold gauntlets and boots. Plus that silver cloak, it's a bit like the Shira armor in the Armor Warrior. Quote. With a light leap, he jumped to a height of 2 meters. Running, reached 20 meters per second. After punching a few times, there was a gust of fist wind. It's much stronger. 8 seconds passed, and the armor dissipated. Su Mu still lamented the power of the armor, the increase of all attributes *2 times, it is not as simple as 1 + 1 and 1 2. Su Mu, who is wearing armor, hits her normal self, 1 punch is enough, she is so arrogant. On the island, there is a low mountain on the island. Heading towards the mountain, before reaching the top of the mountain, I felt a burst of heat. Discover hot springs. When Su Mu came to the top of the mountain, there was a group of hot springs, 4 hot springs, covering an area of 200 square meters. Next to the hot spring, I looked around, and there is a bronze treasure chest in the center of the hot spring. Su Mu reached out to test the water temperature, the hot water at 37 degrees was just right. He took off his clothes, entered the hot spring center, and tried to lift the treasure chest, but the treasure chest did not move at all. It seems that I can only get things here, I hope the hot spring water is not. Su Mu raised the shovel and hit the lock, which broke. Obtain. Wood 4. Obtain. Metal *10. Acquisition. Crafting drawing of excellent wind leather boots 1. Production requirements. Animal skin 1, fine silk thread 1, speed enchantment book 2. Note. This is a boot that can increase your movement speed. Good harvest. After many days of wandering at sea, her body is covered with dirt, so Su Mu is going to take a bath in the hot spring. However, if you can't be alone, it's so boring. Su Mu continued to search, walked to the hot spring, and found a pile of stones. There seems to be something under this stone. Su Mu stretched out his hands to carry it, and the stone was very hot, abnormally hot, almost approaching 100 degrees. Under normal circumstances, this stone shouldn't be so hot, there are fire treasures. Su Mu pried open the stone with a shovel to reveal what was inside. What? It is a golden stone. Obtain. Yanyang Jade 10 perfect grade material. Materials I haven't seen before, but I can keep them. The exploration continued, and the next bronze treasure chest was found in the dirt. Obtain. Metal *10. Obtain. Blueprint of perfect condenser. Su Mu conveniently clicked to study. Although there is a condenser, I was afraid that this thing would break before I didn't have the blueprint, but now I don't have to worry about it. It's an extra guarantee. Continue to search. In the soil to the east, Su Mu dug out a material box. It's supplies again. Su Mu smiled, picked up the shovel and took a look. Stunned. Obtain. Tiger Bone Wine 10. Tiger Bone Wine. A simple medicinal wine, made by soaking the cracked tiger bones of tiger mountains in aged wine. It has great stamina and can strengthen the body. Note: wine is good wine, so don't be greedy, or you will be responsible for the consequences. 10 bottles of 400 milliliters wine are packed in glass bottles, and the inside is light golden wine. Unopened, the aroma of wine is wanton. Put away the wine and prepare to go back and enjoy it with Chi Yu. Su Mu returned to the ark and watched Chi Yu struggling to get things out of her ark. 40 pieces of wood, 20 pieces of fine wood, 30 pieces of metal, and 15 pieces of alloy. 6 pieces of high-quality wild boar meat, 1,000 milliliters of water, 1 high-quality water purifier, and 1 fishing rod. 2 fine-grade silk threads. Plus 3 lilacs that are still growing. Well, I upgraded my ark, so there are only so few resources left. Chi Yu Chao blushed. I have given you everything, you can't abandon me. Su Mu smiled lightly and shook her head. What a very insecure girl. An 18-year-old girl who claims to be a survival master has already proved that she has a strong ability to take care of herself. However, at this age, what almost 99% of people can't do is survive in the wild, which is enough to prove her desire to become stronger. The sad thing is that everyone who wants to keep getting stronger, even a person with a strong heart, has no sense of security. Read information from the sixth sense. Su Mu gently touched the top of Chi Yu's head. The 2 small corners are still very comfortable to the touch. Don't worry, I won't abandon you. From now on, I will be an emperor, and you will be my princess. Chi Yu suddenly blocked Su Mu's mouth with tears in his eyes. I don't want you to be an emperor, and I don't want to be a princess either. When you become an emperor, you will distribute love to all living beings in the world. You are mine. Su Mu sighed softly and hugged Chi Yu gently. She must have experienced something to come up with such an idea. For example, her father is an existence similar to an emperor. He hugged Chi Yu. Forget about that, I found a hot spring, let's take a bath first. Ah, huh. When the 2 came to the top of the mountain and looked at the hot spring, Chi Yu's eyes lit up immediately. As a girl, she still loves to be clean. After living at sea for so many days, her body is covered with the smell of sweat, which she cannot bear, and now she can finally clean it up. Hey, don't you want to avoid it? Chi Yu's eyes were full of confusion. The corners of Su Mu's mouth turned up slightly. You are my wife, what are you afraid of, and you have seen everything you should see. Bah, I haven't admitted it yet. Chi Yu lowered her head, her heart beating wildly like a deer. Hee, who made me quietly act like a badass? Ah, I didn't, you heard wrong. An hour later, the 2 returned to the ark. Taking this opportunity, Su Mu also cleaned her scales. This scale armor is also miraculous, it doesn't feel hot when worn in the sea. This armor works very well, I have to gather a set quickly. The ark moved on, and the journey to the next island was a bit far. Time passed. 4 hours later, it was already night, the 4th day was coming to an end, and the 5th day was about to begin. Su Mu sat in front of the window, took out the supplies, and took stock. There were 5 pieces of snake meat, 8 pieces of fish meat, and 6 pieces of wild boar. Adding the 2 together, there is still 5,400 milliliters of water. You can consider selling a wave of supplies in exchange for enchanted books. Fish, a voice exclaimed. Su Mu raised her head and saw Chi Yu standing on the whale's forewing. With a twist of her body, she twisted a graceful arc, and a small whitebait was caught. With limited mobility, she fished for 4 hours with Su Mu's rod. Fortunately, 18 small whitebait and 6 logs were caught. Su Mu looked at the beautiful figure and shook his head, opened the social channel to collect information. Food and water are still important supplies. But there are more injured people, you can consider making a healing potion. There are a lot of wood, and everyone has too much in their hands. Suddenly, Su Mu narrowed her eyes, someone was selling good things. For sale. Perfect level life jacket blueprint. Requirements. Fine grade flesh and blood 4. No haggling. You all know there will be storms in the future. What is the concept of getting a perfect life jacket at this time? There is still time now. You all come to the level to collect materials and make this thing. Quote. Su Mu pondered for a while, and opened the private chat channel. Should I change the 8 small whitebait? Boss, what I need is fine flesh and blood. I believe that even if people in the whole world don't know it, you should know the effect of this kind of flesh and blood. Su Mu shook his head. It seemed that someone had already started killing monsters and obtained fine flesh and blood. Once obtained, the system will inform you of the effect of fine flesh and blood. In order to survive, people will start desperately to obtain fine flesh and blood. Make a deal. Su Mu is not stingy with flesh and blood. He has a premonition that this life jacket will bring him a lot of money. As for why this person exchanged blueprints for meat, he didn't bother to care about it. Payment. Snake meat *4. Obtain the blueprint of the perfect life jacket. Learn as you go. Perfect level life jacket. A must-have item for sea travel. It can allow you to survive the storm. Theoretically, it can survive a level 12 storm. Manufacturing requirements. Excellent grade rubber 2, plastic 1, floating enchanted book 2, guardian enchanted book 2. Good stuff. Unfortunately, it will take a while to make it. There are too few enchanted books. Su Mu opened the trading area and began to put supplies on the shelves. Trader. Su Mu. Trading item. 400 milliliters of water. Requirements. Heavy enchanted book. Inventory. 7. When this batch of goods is sold out, collect another 30 pieces of metal, and then you can make an excellent level anchor. An excellent level anchor ignores a super typhoon of level 20. Don't worry about storms for a long time to come. Trader. Su Mu. Trade item. Small whitebait 4. Requirements. Guardian enchanted book. Alternative. Levitating enchanted book. Inventory. 4. Boss is here to sell supplies again. Rich man Su, how rich are you? The water before was only a few hundred, but now it's 2,000 or 3,000 milliliters on the shelves, my god. There is also fish. Boss Su, why do you dislike this kind of fish so much that you sell so many at one time? Suddenly there was an exclamation. It was Chi Yu's voice. Su Mu rushed out quickly and bumped into Chi Yu, who wanted to come in. Oops, what's wrong? Su Mu looked around, but found nothing unusual. Chi Yu looked at Su Mu's worried face, and felt warm in her heart. After her grandfather passed away, no one would worry about her anymore. Now I feel the feeling of being worried again. She held up the thing in her hand like a baby who wanted to praise. Look, what is this? Obtain. Magic Armor Enchanted Book 1. This, are you kidding me? Su Mu picked up the enchanted book. It was really a magic armor. System prompt. Consume Beast Core 2, Magic Armor Enchanted Book 1, you can get the skill Magic Armor Descending +1. Beast Core, lack of Animal Core. Su Mu shook her head, really wanting to upgrade immediately. Suddenly, a small hand stretched out, with an irregular crystal in the palm. Take it. Su Mu shook his head. One piece is not enough. It seems that you have also killed monsters. You are very powerful. Chi Yu stuffed the beast core into Su Mu's palm, and said proudly, that is. Suddenly, the sixth sense sent an alarm. Dangerous. Su Mu narrowed her eyes and pushed Chi Yu into the cabin. Danger is coming underwater. Attack is coming. Su Mu took out the Tang Dao from the space ring, and in the sky, Ying Zhong also discovered the situation. Through the mysterious connection, Su Mu saw a 10-meter-long eye silently watching her. No, this thing looks scary, the eyes are fake, and the actual combat power is not as good as yours. Huge eyes slowly emerged, and 2 monstrous feet climbed onto the forewings. It looks like a lizard, with something like a flying shield growing on its back, and the eye is the pattern of the shield. What is this? System prompt. Rock Armor Lizard. A lizard in the sea, with a shield with eye patterns on it, which can scare away enemies. It doesn't have too much combat power. The only attack method is to hit people with the sharp corner of the shield. Note, the shield can be kept for the guy who is strong on the outside and dry in the middle, but his meat is so hard that his stomach hurts after eating it. Su Mu stepped forward. The magic armor is coming. Armor is added to the body, and the combat power soars. Su Mu wanted to try to see how strong she was with full firepower. The sea armor lizard bumped towards Su Mu with its head down. Ada, an uppercut punch hit the sea-armored lizard's head, and it directly stood up in the air. Roar! Just as the sea-armored lizard was about to resist, Su Mu went up and punched him again. It directly smashed the sea armor lizard over its back. He drew out the tang knife and pierced the sea-armored lizard's eyes, twisted it hard, and the blood instantly stained the surrounding sea red. Obtain. Excellent Shield 1. Obtain. Sea-armored lizard flesh 4. Obtain. Beast Core 1. That's all. Su Mu was speechless. I thought it was amazing. That's it. Forget it. Upgrade your skills. Upgrade skill. Demon Armor comes. Demon Armor Advent Level 2. Increase all attributes by 2.5 times, increase block attribute by 10, and last for 16 seconds. Su Mu picked up the shield. This shield was very strange. When it was on the rock-armored lizard, it was a huge shell 10 meters in length. After it was knocked off, it was just a small shield, just enough to cover the arm. There are 2 metal straps under the shield, which seems to be a shield mounted on the arm. There is a sharp bump on the front of the shield, which can be used to hit people. Excellent level shield. There is a chance to get it from killing a rock-armored lizard. A small shield can be used to resist attacks or smash enemies hard. Su Mu casually gave the shield to Chi Yu. It was of no use to him. Take it. Chi Yu glanced at it and pushed it back. Hey. I don't want it, you keep it for yourself, this thing can save your life. I do not need. Su Mu didn't pick it up, went into the cabin, added wood to the grill, and started cooking. Chi Yu looked at the shield with a look of disbelief. Hey, this is a shield, can it block attacks? Su Mu shook his head, it's just a broken shield. My skin defense is almost as good as this shield. Besides, the attack can reach me. Chi Yu showed curiosity. Hey, what talent do you have? Defense enhancement, dodge increase. God level 6th sense, can perceive all attacks, detect abnormalities, and even half predict future events. Chi Yu gasped, her eyes stared like copper bells. I said why I said I was a fairy talent, but you didn't respond at all, you turned out to be a god. Wait, half predicted the future. Chi Yu looked at Su Mu strangely. Then did you predict that I would go berserk? Su Mu nodded. I see, there is no danger, so I think in a fight, even if you burst out with 3 times the combat power, I can knock you down, but who would have thought that it would be that kind of combat power? Ah, Chi Yu collapsed, you didn't even stop me. Su Mu was very aggrieved, I think if you block it, you will drink faster. Chi Yu's body froze, and what she said seemed to make sense. It seemed that no matter how hard she ran, she couldn't escape this catastrophe, this must be fate. After dinner, Chi Yu took out her own bed and placed it with Su Mu's. The small building listened to the wind and rain all night. Eagle sauce is soaring in the sky. Master, you have a girl, why don't you stop carving? The next morning, I had breakfast. Su Mu looked at the meat, 3 pieces of fish, 6 pieces of wild boar. He fed the emerald god tortoise a quick amount of flesh and blood, and sucked up the etheric fluid with a straw. When Su Mu climbed to the top of the ark, an island appeared in the distance. From a distance, there was a camp on it. System prompt. Goblin camp found. Investigation. Eagle sauce circled from the sky and began to collect information. What's wrong? Chi Yu walked up. There is a small copy. Su Mu took out the tang knife, took out a wooden board, and started painting with the knife as a brush. The diameter of the island is about 1 kilometer, and there is a cottage. The cottage is not big, surrounded by mountains on 3 sides and water on 1 side. A square shape with a side length of 300 meters. There are 2 arrow towers at the entrance, and there are 2 goblin archers inside. Be careful, their weapon level is unknown. The left side of the stockade is the house, and the right side is the field. There are plants in the field, suspected to be wheat. By the field there is a goblin soldier with a mace, wearing a leather jacket. It can be concluded that the plants in that field are not simple. There is a big tent in the middle. I can't see the inside clearly, but it feels very bad. There may be some powerful guys inside. Su Mu handed the board to Chi Yu. This is the distribution of monsters inside, remember it, we will fight it later. Turning on her 6th sense, Su Mu looked at the goblin camp in the distance. There is a goblin leader in the tent in the middle, probably a warrior. Elaborately designed, you can fight. These monsters have beast cores, and they can learn resonance enchanting books during battles, which can increase the success rate of battles. Note: make a tang knife for Chi Yu, which can provide a winning rate. If you want specific information, you can ask Ying Zhang to carry out low-altitude reconnaissance with mechanical eyes. Su Mu opens the manufacturing interface. Perfect Tang Dao. Metal 5, Sharp Enchanted Book 3, Ice Enchanted Book 1. No Enchanted Book. Check supplies. One night, another 2,800 milliliters of water was collected, plus the remaining water from last night, a total of 4,200 milliliters. I checked the current transaction situation, and some people began to sell fine-grade flesh and blood, 1.5 pieces of meat in exchange for an enchanted book. Most of them are looking for flames and ice, which leads to the relatively high price of these two books. It seems that everyone has started to manufacture water purifiers on a large scale. Trader. Su Mu. Trading item. 400 milliliters of water. Requirement. Enchanted Book of Sharpness 1. Inventory. 3. Trader. Su Mu. Trading item. 400 milliliters of water. Requirements. Ice Enchanting Book. Trader. Su Mu. Trade item. Rock Armor Lizard Flesh *2. Requirements. Speed Enchanted Book. Inventory. 2. Note: the rock armor lizard's flesh is stiff, and after eating it, it will have a 3-hour stomach pain effect. After putting it on the shelves, Su Mu summoned Ying Zhang, put the mechanical eye into Yin Yang's claws, and turned on the recording mode. This mechanical eye has been kept on, because it is driven by the beast core. Su Mu dare not use it indiscriminately. Strategic resources like beast cores should be used wisely. Go around there and scout at low altitude. Ying Zhang left, and Su Mu visited the trading area again. The water was quickly sold out. At this time, everyone still focused on storing water. Enchanted books are good, but your life is useful, and enchanted books of sharpness and ice are not very rare. Consumption. Metal 5, Sharp Enchanter 3, Ice Enchanting Book 1. Obtain. Perfect Tang Sword 1. Girl, then, take this bodyguard when you fight, and don't use that knife in future fights, it's ugly and embarrassing to me. He casually threw the knife to Chi Yu. Chi Yu is speechless. Boss, can you not be so arrogant? There are not many sophisticated weapons now. Obtain. Perfect Weapon Tang Dao. Perfect grade. Chi Yu's eyes lit up. What is this beating feeling? Is this what it feels like to be cared about? Boss, please be more arrogant to me. A private message came. Boss, your meat has side effects. Su Mu replied. I know. Opposite Zhang Xin showed hesitation. Boss, I have a speed enchanted book here. If you want it, you have to pay more. At least 4 yuan can be exchanged for an enchanted book. Su Mu shook his head. Greedy guy. In fact, his price is 1/3 higher than the market price. In order to compensate for this side effect, unfortunately, there are still people who find fault. No need. After speaking, Su Mu continued to visit the trading area, and exchanged 200 milliliters of water for a fine-grade silk thread. Zhang Xin was a little anxious. He also knew the effect of fine-level flesh and blood. But just changed like this, and I was not reconciled. How should I put it? There are always people who think their stuff is the best. Boss, do you really not think about it? No need, it has already been bought. Zhang Xin's face changed drastically, and she quickly logged into the trading area, but the items on it had disappeared. Quote. Su Mu took down the speed enchantment book and opened the manufacturing. Consumption. Snake Skin 1, Excellent Grade Silk Thread 1, Speed Enchanted Book 2. Obtain. Wind Leather Boots 1, Excellent Grade. These are a pair of black boots with white moire trim. Su Mu put on the leather boots and felt very relaxed. She tried to run a few steps, and her speed was 2 points faster than before. Will opening skills be faster? The magic armor is coming. The gorgeous armor came, tried it, and it was faster. It's a pity that there is only one copy of the material, otherwise Chi Yu can also make a pair. Is this what you got for your job? The first time Chi Yu saw the armor was yesterday, but it was dark at that time, so he didn't look carefully. Looking at it now, it's so handsome. No, Su Mu pondered for a while, and confessed her situation. I went to an island last time, obtained the source of warriors and magic, and opened the authority to enchant myself. The blueprint of the non-level weapon was also obtained there. So, now I can enchant skills for myself. The enchanted one is the magic armor enchanting book, which is the one you caught yesterday. Fortunately, the original version's skills are not so strong, plus your yesterday's one, it has been upgraded. Chi Yu was stunned, looked at his hands, and muttered. How do you feel? Your luck is more terrifying than mine. Ying Zhong flew down from the sky. Su Mu took off her armor and opened her mechanical eyes. A holographic image was opened, and in the image was a small cottage, in which there lived several child-sized green-skinned monsters, which were the goblins in the game. Among them, it can be seen through the image that there are 2 more in the house on the left. After all, there are at least 8 goblins here, which is a tough nut to crack. Come and see. Su Mu nodded. This image was similar to the message Ying Zhong sent to himself. You can climb up a short mountain and drop an archer from a distance in seconds. But we only have 1 crossbow. What about the other one? Su Mu pointed to Ying Zhong. He came to solve it, and then I rushed in. You were behind me. You pay attention, you don't get close to the tent in the middle, just use a hand crossbow to assist me. Said, Su Mu handed the hand crossbow and 10 crossbow arrows to Chi Yu. Set off. Su Mu drove the arc to the bottom of the sea and landed on the island from the other side. This is the back side of the mountain, the goblins can't see it. The 2 proceeded carefully along the mountain, and came to the left side near the bow and arrow tower, which is the area near the house. Lying on the back of the slope, the 2 peeked out quietly, just in time to see the hideous and ugly side face of the goblin. He didn't notice us. Su Mu made a ready gesture to Chi Yu, and Chi Yu immediately pointed the crossbow at the bow and arrow goblin's head. At the same time, Eagle Sauce began to dive above the sky. Shoot! Su Mu waved his hand. A crossbow arrow sank into the head of a goblin, and an eagle screamed, and Yin Yang's steel body crashed into another arrow tower. The bow and arrow goblin flew tens of meters, a big hole was punched in his chest, and he couldn't die anymore. Gulu Gulu, enemy attack. Su Mu jumped up and came to the back of the house. These houses are not connected together, there is a little gap between them. Attention, a goblin panicked and was rushing towards you through the alley in front of you. Su Mu raised the tang knife and waited quietly. 1 second, 2 seconds, a touch of green emerged. With a wave of Su Mu Tang Dao, blood spattered everywhere. Su Mu didn't care about getting dirty either, so with a slash of the tang knife, the goblin's head was split in half. Pick up a beast core from the gore. Enchanting. Resonance Enchanted Book. Consumption. Beast Core 1, Resonance Enchanted Book 1. Acquired Skill. Kanglong Yin. Kanglong Yin. Release the power of resonance and resonance with your hands, destroying all objects, and the lethality is huge. Note: this skill belongs to the magic system and requires the consumption of soul power. Please experience it yourself. The other goblins were already panicking, and suddenly there was a roar. The tent was opened, and a 2-meter-tall, sturdy goblin with a frog stepped out. Look to the back of the house. A big guy came out. Chi Yu shot and killed one again, and when he saw the tent, his face changed slightly. That terrifying muscle is not much different from Donkey Kong. Dangerous, your position is about to be hit. Retreat 2 steps, summon the magic armor, and release the Kanglong Yin. Su Mu pulled back and fell back, a big man fell down, splashing mud. The magic armor is coming. The Kanglong chant. Su Mu felt that something in her body was leaving her, and she frantically went back to her palm. Roar! A giant hand tore through the dust cloud and grabbed Su Mu's palm. Don't worry, boom it. No, Chi Yu was in a hurry. As a person who has lived in the wild all year round, of course she knew the consequences of being caught. She was worried that Su Mu would be torn apart by that big guy in the next second. The Goblin Lord looked at Su Mu with a sneer. Ants. Su Mu shook her head. You dare to touch my body, you are very brave. Huh. The Goblin Lord narrowed his eyes and wanted to stop, but it was too late. A terrifying dragon air injected into the palm of his hand, and in an instant, the whole arm seemed to be detonated from the inside by explosives, blasting into a cloud of blood mist. Su Mu's tang knife cut across for a month and a half, splitting the screaming goblin leader in half. At the moment of life and death, the other goblins had just rushed over, just in time to see the cruel scene of their boss being cut in half. Gulu Gulu, run away. With a flash of Su Emu's body, a gust of hurricane was created, and he cut another goblin with a knife. Attention, there are goblins aiming at you with bows and arrows. Break open the house and hide in. Su Mu crashed into the wooden wall and entered the room, and the arrow emitting yellow light shot into the spot. Perfect arrow, good stuff. The house was dirty and smelly. There were only a few floors and some broken weapons inside. Go forward, leave the house, there is a goblin at the door. Su Mu stepped forward, Tang Dao plunged into the wooden wall, and made a puff. A goblin at the door who was about to ambush Su Mu was headshot. There are 3 ordinary goblins and 1 elite goblin archer left. It's time for Su Emu's magic armor to descend, the armor has dissipated, and the next summoning time is 10 minutes. Eagle Sauce. Eagle Sauce rose into the air and rushed towards the tent, where a goblin shooter was posing with a bow. Karma, beyond the limit. The speed of Eagle Sauce soared 3 times, like a cannonball pressing down on the goblin archer, and the eagle claw slashed to disembowel him. Stretching his head, he pulled out a heart. Here, Chi Yu descended from the sky, brandished the tang knife in his hand, and chopped off the head of a goblin, and then swung his jade hand. Tang Dao turned into a white rainbow and sank into the head of another goblin. Finally, he pulled out the hand crossbow and shot the last goblin headshot with 1 arrow. Clean and neat. Su Mu stepped forward and patted Chi Yu's shoulder. Good job. Chi Yu looked at Su Mu with a complicated expression. She thought she had seen everything about Su Mu, but in this battle she found out that Su Mu and Ying Zhong defeated 2 bosses in seconds, and she was only worthy of clearing small soldiers. Su Mu smiled and rubbed the girl's head. Let's go clean the battlefield. Su Mu piled the 10 corpses aside and dug out the animal core. Obtain Beast Core 9. He piled the weapons aside again. Acquisition. Ordinary Grade Bow 4. Obtain. Ordinary Arrow 40. Obtain. Ordinary Mace 8. Acquisition. Perfect Gold Silk Wooden Bow 1. Obtain. Perfect Arrow 20. Some of these weapons were picked up from dead bodies, and some were found in houses. The perfect level bow and arrow was found from the elite goblin archer. It is a very strong weapon, but unfortunately the master's strength is not very good. Ordinary items. Su Mu didn't hide her disgust, and put all the ordinary items on the shelves. Trader. Su Mu. Trading items. Ordinary bow 1, arrow 10. Requirements. Levitating enchanted book. Alternative. Guardian enchanted book. Inventory. 4. Trader. Su Mu. Trade item. Common grade mace. Requirements. Any enchanted book. Inventory. 8. Why did you put them all on the shelves? You didn't keep 2. Chi Yu had been looking at the trading area, and happened to see Su Mu put these weapons on the shelves. Useless junk. Su Mu collected the perfect level bow and arrow and tried to disassemble the goblin corpse. System prompt. This is a special monster that cannot be decomposed. Can't be broken down. Forget it. Su Mu looked at the innermost tent, which was the most important place, and the things inside must not disappoint him. Su Mu walks into the tent. When I came to the tent, it was a little different from what I expected. Normally, there should be a pot inside, with a never-ending bonfire burning underneath. A pot of delicious meat is simmering in the pot. In the corner next to it was a pile of pale skulls. There are 2 rows of maces inside, making it look like a magic cave. Well, that's how it is in the game anyway. But actually, it's clean inside. There was a clean carpet on the ground, 2 opposing tables with delicious food, a bookshelf, and a map hung on the innermost canvas of the tent. Exuding a strong atmosphere of capitalism, who knows how long the 2 big brother blins have been squeezing the little goblins to get these things. The most eye-catching thing is the golden treasure chest in the middle of the tent. Summary. This is a high-end and upscale place, completely incompatible with those smelly wooden houses outside. Yo-ho, good stuff. Su Mu came to the treasure chest, picked up the shovel and hit the lock, but was not moved. Is this lock so hard? Su Mu raised the shovel and was about to continue, but Chi Yu stopped him. Do you usually open boxes like this? Is there any other way? Chi Yu rubbed his eyebrows in pain. Put your hands on the treasure chest, concentrate, and the treasure chest will open by itself. Su Mu put her hands on the treasure chest and concentrated her attention. With a snap, the lock fell off. So there is still such a way to play. Obtain. Epic level extraterrestrial iron *2. Obtain. Epic Kunwushin Mu *1. Acquisition. Epic Sky Silk 2. Obtain. Advanced Beast Core 3. Quote ? Quote. Chi Yu looked at the series of red rays of light, and the shock in his heart could not be described in words. Are you the son of Lady Luck? Epic level items. God is pitiful. Before meeting Sumu, she had never seen a perfect level item. She is auspicious. Looking at it now, who is auspicious? There is indeed something wrong with this treasure chest. Sumu took a look at her hand. It was covered with donated blood and a little bit of mud. It didn't look like Oh Huang's hand at all. Luck, pure luck. Sumu nodded. The basic raw materials for the epic level elemental crossbow are available. As for the enchanted book, that's much easier. It's a pity that I didn't get an epic blueprint. It's still a bit close. Chi Yu was completely speechless. For blueprints, dozens of treasure chests can only be harvested for one blueprint. This pile of materials is good enough. Sumu continued to search the entire tent, first the food on the table. Acquisition. Big characters -1 steak. Sumu hesitated for a moment, and threw the steak away. No matter how hungry he was, he didn't want to eat the same kind of meat. Acquisition. Perfect carpet 1. Obtain. Perfect level table 2. Perfect furniture is not a good thing, it is not as real as a plant seed. Sumu came to the bookshelf and found that there were not many books on the bookshelf, so she picked up one at random, opened it, and found that there were no words in it. What? Obtain. Perfect bookshelf 1. Obtain. Blank book 10. System prompt. When you get the enchanting table, you can enchant the book and get the enchanted book. Girl, do you know about the enchanting table? Do not know. Chi Yu was looking at the map intently, waving at Sumu. Husband, come and have a look. Is this a treasure map? Sumu came to the hanging map, and on this chart were islands. I found a chart of the surrounding sea, and there are 10 islands nearby, 3 of which are highlighted. The situation is unknown. According to the map information, one of the islands may have an enchanting table. Almost every island has camps, including gnolls, ogres, and goblins. Ogres are the strongest and need to be dealt with carefully, and goblins are the weakest. See chart. Good thing there are such camps on the islands above. For specifics, we have to take a closer look. Sumu took down the map, determined his position, and judged the distance. The 3 key islands were quite far away. Looking around, there is really nothing. Come to the right side of the stockade. This is a field. Inside were 34 potato seedlings, 4 rows of wheat, and an orange tree just bearing fruit. Sumu looked at Chi Yu. Is your ship empty now? Well, what's the matter? It's nothing. I want to move this whole field into your boat. Chi Yu pondered for a moment. I'm afraid I can't fit it. Move the orange trees first, and then the potatoes. If the wheat doesn't work, give up. Consumption. Wood 10. Obtain. Large wooden barrel 1. Sumu took out a military shovel and started digging. Chi Yu complained. Speaking of which, this island is very strange, without a single farm tool. Naturally, this is a goblin, not a human. I'm curious as to how they can farm. The 3-meter orange tree was stuffed into the barrel by 2 people. Sumu took out the remaining perfect grade soil from the storage ring and stuffed it into it. Okay, I hope this thing doesn't use up much water. Chapter 41. Dig out the mud on the ground, and stuff the potato seedlings into Chi Yu's ark. Obtain. Potatoes 34. Unfortunately, it's just of ordinary quality. Chi Yu is speechless. Husband, if you let others hear your words, they will be scolded. These days, it's good to have something to eat, and that's you, the picky one. This ark is amazing. Even if it is in a reduced state, the crops inside will grow in a normal state. When the wheat was left at last, Sumu found helplessly that she really couldn't hold it anymore. Forget it, no more wheat. After searching the island with her 6th sense and confirming that there was nothing else, Sumu left the island. The next island, Jackal number 1 island. On the boat, Sumu released the carpet and other furniture and asked Chi Yu to clean it and put it on. Needless to say, the furniture is quite nice. Turn on the system by yourself, and prepare to buy enchanted books to make epic weapons. As soon as he turned on the system, his eyes were immediately dazzled by a series of chat messages. Boss Sue, where did you get so many weapons, please guide. Boss Sue, you eat meat, we want some soup, can you? Boss Sue, do you think I look like a leg pendant? Boss Sue, how many islands have you explored? What is your talent? What is it? I think it is immortal level, or divine grade. The known celestial products are Chi Yu and that guy named William. There are only 2 of them in total. Where did they come from? Boss, please guide me. To be honest, this weapon is hardly a secret. Su Mu pondered for a while, and sent his own message on the World Channel for the first time. When exploring the island, you may encounter an island with a camp, and there are more than 10 monsters in it. Killing these monsters will give you some weapons. Everyone gasped. Is Boss Su so strong? Do you dare to challenge 10 monsters alone? Don't say 10, I can't beat even 1. I can play 1, but only if I'm injured. Hey, is there really a boss who can have 10 at the same time? Suddenly, a message flashed across the world. I, William Locke, have the blood of immortals, the kind with added combat power, with excellent weapons in hand, and can fight too. In the mist, there are only 2 masters of the immortal rank, so the Master Su is probably a master of the divine rank. A child named Chu Sayu said, it must be a special divine talent. I am very curious about the day I meet Mr. Su. Su Mu was not surprised that her talent was guessed. 1.4 billion people, there will always be smart people. Su Mu opened the exchange and took down the item. Obtain. Floating Enchanted Book 4. Obtain. Guardian Enchanted Book 4. Obtain. Power Enchanted Book 4. Obtain. Strong Enchanted Book 4. Obtain. Ice Enchanted Book 2. When a large pile of enchanted books appeared in front of Su Mu, Chi Yu was really taken aback. Boss, what do you want to do? Su Mu took a deep breath. This is the first epic weapon in life, which requires a sense of ritual. Why don't you give it a shot first? Then pad it first. Following the intuition of the 6th sense, Su Mu opened the system, clicked on manufacturing, clicked on the ARC option, and opened the only excellent blueprint. Consumption. Metal 100, Rope 5, Strong Enchanted Book 5, Heavy Enchanted Book 10. Obtain. Excellent Anchor 1. A metal anchor glowing black appeared. Note, this anchor will automatically adapt to the size of the arc as the arc is upgraded. System prompt. Are you merging with the arc? Black, the excellent anchor. Chi Yu's voice raised an octave. What a fuss, fusion. The black anchor disappeared, and at the same time, a huge anchor appeared on the belly of the mechanical whale. Su Mu took out 4 coconuts and was going to sell some of them. He still had 50 coconuts. Su Mu shouted on the World Channel, buy high-quality rubber, 2 coconuts for 1, come quickly if you are interested. Coconut, fruit, Mr. Su sells fruit. Coconut, want it, but I don't have rubber. Boss Su, I have fine rubber, can we chat privately? Su Mu rarely speaks on the World Channel, but in the eyes of everyone, he is the best player alive. Say hello now, and when we meet in the future, there should be a topic of communication, otherwise, how could the boss talk to you, a rookie, and it would be good not to kill you. Soon, Su Mu paid 8 coconuts and got 4 fine-grade rubbers. Yes, not bad. Su Mu opens the manufacturing and clicks on the perfect drawing. Consumption. Excellent grade rubber 4, plastic 2, levitation enchanted book 4, guardian enchanted book 4. Obtain. Perfect life jacket 2. This is a special life jacket, not so much a life jacket as a full-body rubber suit with a helmet on. Perfect life jacket. After activation, it will automatically cover the host, bring the host to the surface of the sea, and defend against wave attacks. Note: fear of sharp objects. Good. In the end, Su Mu picked up a pile of epic materials devoutly. The previous ones are not important, and the current ones are the most important. Epic level elemental hand crossbow, here I come, goddess of luck, protect me. Wait, you still have a perfect bow in your hand. Su Mu sighed, took out the perfect golden silk wood and 20 arrows, and handed them to Chi Yu. Take it, huh? Chi Yu pointed at herself cutely. Give it to me. Then what do you do? This is a perfect bow, probably the only perfect bow in the entire world. Su Mu thrust the bow firmly into Chi Yu's arms. I have better ones. Chi Yu was overwhelmed with emotion, a perfect level weapon. If you want to change the food, it will last for 10 days. Of course, fools only trade this kind of treasure for food. As long as the luck is not too bad, this kind of thing can easily face all kinds of monsters in the early stage, and the chance of surviving can increase by 90%. This is a reward from my husband to me, and it is also a proof of my husband's love for me. All right, Su Mu activated his sixth sense. Now, he really doesn't have any material. It's now, let's build it. Boy, I want to get into my soul. Su Mu quickly clicked to create. Manufacture. Elemental hand crossbow. Consumption. Advanced Beast Core 3, Kunwu Mu *1, Extraterrestrial Iron 2, Celestial Silk 2, Strength Enchanted Book 4, Strong Enchanted Book 4. The lower limit of enchanted books is 1, and there is no upper limit. So Su Mu wrote 4 books each, hoping to improve the power of the hand crossbow. Goddess bless. Chi Yu sat obediently by the side, waiting quietly, curious about what her husband was doing. Congratulations on getting Epic Elemental Crossbow Variation Infinite. Elemental Hand Crossbow. It can shoot extremely powerful arrows and elemental arrows, and use different elemental arrows to cause damage of various attributes to the enemy. Combining them, it can exert unusual effects. The degree of damage caused by its attributes is related to the level of the arrow. Variation Infinity. When there is an arrow in the hand crossbow, you can consume soul power to copy an arrow with 80% of the power of the original arrow, and attack the enemy without consuming the original physical arrow. Well, a very useful skill. Originally, I was worried that the consumption of arrows would be too high, but now with this mutation, most of the problem has been solved. With soul power, you can release it infinitely, but what exactly is soul power? Su Mu thought about it for a while, then stopped thinking about it. Take out the middle element hand crossbow, which is a blue metal hand crossbow, full of fantasy and science fiction, with a length of 49 centimeters and a width of 64 centimeters. By the standards of hand crossbows, it is considered a large crossbow. Elemental hand crossbow. Range. 3,100 meters can be improved. Combat power. 12,000. The real situation is subject to the elemental arrows inside the hand crossbow. Combat power. Su Mu clicked on the word combat power on the system screen. This was the first time he had seen these 2 words. System prompt. Combat strength is the basic value for evaluating a person. Now is the first stage of surviving the Demon Sea. The combat power system has not been activated yet. Please wait for the first storm to pass and the system to be upgraded before you ask for details. Have I surpassed this version? It's like, this is a level 60 version, and I took advantage of a system bug to obtain level 70 equipment. Well, if there is a reporting and title system, he will be reported and banned for 100 billion years. Chi Yu covered her small mouth, unable to speak in surprise. OMG, an epic item. I actually saw the birth of an epic item. God, please be reasonable. Others are worried about whether they can survive tomorrow, and this person in front of him has actually obtained an epic item. No wonder there are always people who say that people are more popular than others, and they need to be thrown away when they compare goods. Compared with Su Mu, it is really incomparable. Others are on the 10th floor, but he is already standing on the sky. Before, Chi Yu was still a little unwilling. After all, that incident was an accident, but now it seems that Qilin was able to hug Su Mu's thigh purely because of his own luck. In terms of Su Mu's current behavior, what kind of woman does he want and can't get? This kind of leg is comparable to Optimus Prime. As long as you stay with the boss, you don't have to worry about any problems. A piece of meat from the boss's mouth is comparable to all other people's property. Su Mu parked the Ark 2,000 meters away from an island, and then sent Yingzhong to fly over the island to investigate. Su Mu climbed to the top of the Ark, lay down on it, and loaded a perfect arrow. Fortunately, as long as it is an arrow, the system will turn it into a suitable size. Hopefully, the power won't be too bad. Jackal 1 Island, similar to Goblin Island. Jackals are humanoid jackals with an upright body, wearing tattered animal skin clothes, warriors holding scimitars, jackal crossbows holding hand crossbows. This group of gnolls patrolled the village as usual. Su Mu's eyes have been strengthened by a large amount of drugs, and he can already see objects 2 kilometers away. A jackal crossbowman was standing by the sea to urinate. without noticing that a hunter had aimed his hunting crossbow at his head 2 kilometers away on the sea. Hold your breath and aim. Su Mu aimed based on the cue of his sixth sense. The soul power is slowly consumed. The first arrow, Su Mu is ready to use the duplicate arrow. Copy completed. I want to see how many copy arrows I can use now. You must recognize your limits, so that in future battles, you will not be injured due to misjudgment. I have a sixth sense, but don't rely on it alone, it will leave you vulnerable. Su Mu's face was solemn, and she gently moved the trigger with her finger. The semi-illusory arrow in the crossbow arm disappeared instantly, and a real arrow emerged. Wild animals are very sensitive to danger, and the jackal just raised his head when he sensed something was wrong. An illusory arrow shot into his eyes, and his head exploded, causing blood and brains to scatter all over the ground. The wolf man's body swayed twice and fell to the ground without making any sound. The other gnolls were still in their camp, not noticing that one of their companions was dead. Voice, very small, very good. Su Mu raised the crossbow again and waited patiently. The jackal's nose is very sharp, and soon some jackals found it by smelling the blood. They came to the beach together and were shocked when they saw the dead body. Su Mu's eyes fixed on a burly jackal. A burly wolf man with a long knife in his hand looked through the corpses. He is the leader here. There is no substance left, and it seems to be the power of magic. The leader of the jackals stared at the sea with a solemn expression. Something has floated up in the magic sea. Don't go near the sea these 2 days. Suddenly, the leader of the jackals felt his scalp go numb, and a clever murderous intent descended. Instinctive reaction. The wolf man launched his own combat skills, and his body responded automatically. The long knife in his hand slashed towards the sea, colliding with an illusory arrow. Clang! The long knife bounced away with concentrated force, and the phantom arrow sank half an inch into the leader's chest, and then turned into little stars and dissipated. The tiger's mouth was split open, and a bloody hole was opened in the heart. The leader of the gnolls looked at the sea in horror. Go, enter the house. Where did the enemy shoot the arrow from? The leader panicked. The attack power is good, the jackal man just now is strong, and the distance is a little farther, so he didn't get caught in seconds. If it was a real perfect arrow just now, that guy is already dead. Only 80% of the power of the original version, after all, it is a bit worse. Quote. Unfortunately, there are no elemental arrows. Let's see the power of elemental arrows next time. The jackals started to run towards the interior of the cottage, without noticing that a big eagle was circling above their heads. Su Mu received Yin Yang's information and used her sixth sense to locate them. A little to the left, a little to the side of the arrow, a little higher. Now, pull the trigger. A running gnoll suddenly stopped and looked at his chest in disbelief, where an arrow was half exposed, turning into starlight and dissipating. Blood spewed out, and the wolf man felt that his vitality was leaving him. The 3 arrows are already a little tired, and less than half of the power of the soul has been consumed. Recovery is fast, but it also takes 10 minutes. Do not consume more than 60% of your soul power every day, otherwise you will fall into a state of exhaustion. The other gnolls, with their livers and gallbladders torn apart, landed on all fours and sprinted frantically into the house. In the house, a jackal was looking through the small window, trying to find the enemy's location. The sea is sparkling, the arc is silvery white, Su Mu is perfectly hidden. The leader of the jackals took the cloth handed over by his subordinates, peeled off his hands, and frowned. Who will the enemy be? Suddenly, an arrow flew across the sky, pierced through the window, and shot into the eye of the probing gnoll. Blood splashed everywhere, the skull was pierced, and an arrow flew 3 meters away with the corpse. A drop of white liquid fell onto the eye of the chief gnoll. Ah, what exactly is this? The other gnolls panicked. Some lay down in the corner, and some squatted on the ground with their heads in their arms. They didn't dare to howl loudly, for fear that the enemy would find their position through the sound. Yingzhong sent the location to Su Mu through the window. Su Mu loaded a perfect arrow again. This perfect level arrow is much stronger than the copied one. Pulling the trigger with his finger, an arrow crossed a distance of 2,000 meters, shot through the wooden wall, and pierced a wolf man lying in the corner. Ah, ooh, fear and despair surged into the hearts of all the gnolls. What the hell is this? Where is the enemy watching them? The wolf people now feel that there is an omnipresent eye watching them silently, ready to deal them a fatal blow at any time. The sad thing is, they don't even know what the enemy is, and half of their companions have already died. Boss, think of a way. The remaining 5 jackals looked at the leader together. The leader of the jackals seemed to have made up his mind, picked up his knife and rushed out. Even if I'm doomed to die, I still need to know what I'm facing. The chief Nal growled, "Come out, the bug hiding in the dark, come and fight me to the death. Come out, you clown. Come on, fight to the death with me. If you're a man, you should be upright. What's the point of staying in the shadows?" Su Mu lay on the ark, looking at the jackal lord in the distance. What is he howling? The sound is like a mosquito. I don't know, I must have been scared crazy by you. Chi Yu was speechless. Of course she could guess what the other side was thinking. This is really driving a monster crazy. The only one who can do this is Su Mu. It seems to be inviting you to a head-on duel. It's a duel. Su Mu pointed the crossbow at the jackal leader's head, the corners of his mouth slightly raised. Well, I'm sorry, there are creatures called cowboys in our world. Their duel method is to use guns. I don't have a gun, so I use a crossbow instead. Goodbye. An arrow pierced the sky, more powerful than before, piercing through the forehead of the wolf-man leader, and piercing his head. The leader looked into the distance in disbelief, and finally saw a vague figure on the sea level in the distance. But death has come. Even if he didn't come, that distance is a distance that he will never be able to reach. Who and what is it that attacked us? The leader of the wolf man fell down slowly, dying with regret. Su Mu got up and collected the equipment. Go to the island, there shouldn't be any powerful characters in it. At the same time, eagle sauce fell from the sky, directly loaded into the cabin, and started a bloody slaughter against the enemies inside. Despair, fear, and helplessness filled the hearts of the remaining Nals. The shrill screams resounded through the sky, and the blood covered the entire room. Su Mu stepped on the beach, and there was no one alive on the entire island. Ying Zhong stood on the beach with his head held high, like a general who had won a battle. Good job. Su Mu touched Yin Yang's head, and then began to clean up the scene, and it was time to harvest again. Obtain. Ordinary scimitar 8. Obtain. Ordinary hand crossbow 4. Obtain. Ordinary arrow 40. The old rules, all on the shelves. Trader. Su Mu. Trading item. Ordinary machete *2. Requirements. Beast Core 1. Inventory. 4. Su Mu is going to start hoarding animal cores. All kinds of equipment in the future may need animal cores to operate, and it will never hurt to prepare in advance. Another 4 sets of hand crossbows were hung up, and the price was still 1 enchanted book for each set. Chi Yu came back, holding a bag in his arms, which contained a pile of animal cores. Obtain. Beast Core 10. There are still 19 beast cores. There is no shortage of beast cores for a while, but they still need to be collected intensively. High-level items all need beast cores to activate them. Did Boss Su destroy another island? It's scary. Su Mu ignored the hustle and bustle of the World Channel, but came to the right side of the Nal camp. There is a medicine garden here. Obtain. Hemostatic grass 30. Obtain. Purple clothes *30. Obtain. Concentration flower 30. Obtain. Moonlight grass 30. During the harvesting process, 10 seeds of each of the 4 types were also obtained. 4 herbs, 10 healing potions. Consumption. Hemostatic grass 30, moonlight grass 30, lavender grass 30. Obtain. Primary healing potion. The primary healing potion, said to be a potion, is actually something like jelly. It's a bit like a bonbon, with jelly on the outside and liquid medicine inside. Gently sniffing, there is a faint medicinal fragrance. Su Mu pondered for a while, and sent the healing potion to the World Channel. Sell primary healing potions, require rare blueprints, rare enchanted books, come with the highest price. The next second, Su Mu's private chat exploded again, and tens of thousands of private chat messages came in a few seconds. Healing potion. Boss Su actually dislikes too much medicine. Boss Su, I was injured and dying, can you give me a healing potion for free? To be honest, the one who sells medicine is really the only one. How many islands did Boss Su go to? There is a message in private chat. William Locke. Boss Su, I want to exchange a special enchanted book for a potion. Su Mu frowned slightly. He had a little impression of this guy, one of the two possessors of immortal talent. What? William Locke sent an enchanted book. Trader. William Locke. Trade item. Shining Blade Enchanted Book. Requirements. Healing Potion 1. Light Blade Enchanted Book. Warrior Type Enchanted Book. After enchanting, you can get the skill, Lightsaber Summoning. Summoning a lightsaber is a weapon. Note: the lightsaber is a physical entity and extremely destructive, please do not accidentally injure it. This item is of unusual value. It's a loss for you to change to a healing potion. Summoning a lightsaber is a very powerful skill at first glance. On the distant sea, a beautiful woman of mixed Chinese and Western race looked at the enchanted book in her hand, with a smile on her face. Finally had a chance to get close to God. Hee, Lord Su, actually I just want to be your friend, and my talent doesn't need this thing. This is my meeting ceremony, how about it? Quote, how about this? Su Mu sent over a potion and 2 coconuts. I'll give you 2 coconuts. Just make friends. Thank you. The corners of William Locke's mouth curled up slightly. Finally boarded the ship of Da Fuao Su. Opening the world channel. Some people have already started to form cliques, and Mahai can only survive if it is united. And those who are strong face the weak only to rule. Only siblings can hug each other for warmth. She is a fairy level talent, and it is certain that there will not be more than 5 fairy level talents in this magic sea, and the most likely one is a god, that is, Boss Su. She is a woman, she has no thoughts, she just wants to find a thigh to hug, and then live quietly. Obtain. Light Blade Enchanted Book. Light Blade Enchanted Book. Consume Excellent Level Weapon 1, Beast Core 1, you can get skill, Summon Lightsaber. System prompt. Summoning the light blade needs to continuously consume blood points. The weapon is the carrier of the summoning lightsaber, which can be replaced. The higher the low level of the weapon, the stronger the summoned light blade. Vigor and blood value. It seems to be a new thing. Warrior skills need to consume energy and blood, and magic needs to consume soul power. It's such a complicated thing, and the system doesn't even explain it at all. System prompt. At the current stage, you are the only player who has the authority to enchant yourself, and the development speed has far exceeded the upgrade speed of the Magic Sea. If you upgrade the system now, it will cause other people to fall into crisis, so please wait patiently for the Magic Sea to upgrade. Su Mu understands that the system is saying that his progress is too fast, something must happen to the system upgrade, and that will lead to other people who have not yet developed into a desperate situation or even completely wiped out. Forehead. Tukao on the official website is the deadliest. Due to the fact that the host is too strong, the Magic Sea system will add a bar for your vitality and soul power separately. Su Mu. Blood value. 1000. Soul power. 800 1,000ths. Well, at least I can see my own stats now, at least I won't be exhausted. Su Mu got up and walked towards the tent. When we came to the central tent, there was nothing here. Compared with the previous big goblin tent, it looked a bit shabby here. A fine table, a fine rug, a bookshelf and nothing else. Breakdown. Disassemble tables and rugs. Acquisition. Excellent grade wood 4. Obtain. Rope 3. 10 books, 1 bookshelf. Su Mu looked around, her sixth sense fully activated. It's too shabby, and it's too wrong, there's not even a treasure chest, there must be a secret room here. The ground, here only the ground can hide things. Su Mu crouched down and began to tap the floor. What's wrong? Chi Yu was puzzled. I'm curious, why there are 2 bosses on the last island, but there is only one here. Hole. There was a crisp echo from under a floorboard, which was empty. Su Mu smiled, and stretched out her hand to lift the floor. Suddenly there was a flash in front of my eyes, as if I saw. A ferocious wolf man was hiding underground, holding a pair of blood-colored daggers tightly in his hands, his eyes glowed green, and he was staring ferociously at the floor. And the floor also became transparent, and he was about to lift the floor. Danger, there is an ambush. Shoot the crossbow through the floor and kill him in seconds. Su Mu's face changed drastically. Just now, he seemed to see the scenery under the floor. An illusion. No, Su Mu murmured. Is this speculating on the future? It doesn't look like it. I don't dare to look at it. There are problems below. Su Mu took out the elemental crossbow, loaded the arrow, and pulled the trigger against the floor. Pata! The arrow pierced through the wooden floor and shot into the darkness, and there was the sound of piercing through flesh and blood. The magic armor is coming. Su Mu was wearing a magic armor, smashed the floor and smashed into a passage. The enemy is on the left, one position, release Kandlongyan. Kandlong chant. Su Mu turned around and slapped a hapless guy on the heart. Blood splashed everywhere, and a jackal exploded into a pile of minced meat. The guy didn't even scream the whole time. Obtain. Perfect grade red moon dagger 2, set. Chi Yu rushed in quickly, and was startled by the scene in front of her. Assassins. These jackals are insidious. Su Mu nodded. The first leader sacrificed himself in exchange for an assassination opportunity for the second leader, thinking that the invaders who slaughtered the camp would definitely relax their vigilance. At that time, if you are attacked suddenly, you will be slower to react, and even if you don't die, you will be seriously injured. Quote. Su Mu rubbed her eyes, and a drop of blood flowed down. It's not an injury, it's the use of the sixth sense that exceeds the limit of the current physical load. No effect, the body will recover by itself. Su Mu looked at the girl who was pulling out lantern plants, and asked, Chi Yu, do you feel that your talent is getting stronger? Yes, as I use my talents, I feel that my abilities are getting stronger and stronger. Really, the increase in talent will become stronger as you become stronger. What's wrong? Chi Yu took out the lantern plant and lit up the surroundings, and was immediately startled by the blood and tears on Su Mu's face. Oh my god, what's wrong with you? Don't you have a healing potion? Take 2 servings quickly. Su Mu waved her hand. Don't say it, this girl is not in vain, she knows how to care for herself. It's okay, it's just daily consumption, it will be fine in a while. Let's go and see what's in this secret room first. This is a small secret room. A table with 2 enchanted books on it. There is no map, and there are 2 silver chests on the ground. Su Mu picked up the enchanted book first. Obtain. Magic Armor Enchanted Book 2. Demon Armor Descends Upgrade Consumption. Magic Armor Enchanted Book 2, Excellent Level Weapon 1, Beast Core 4. Su Mu has no excellent weapons, only epic, but the elemental hand crossbow cannot be consumed. Keep it for now. Su Mu looked at the silver treasure chest, smiled at Chi Yu and said. How about, let's have one for each of us, and see who develops the best thing. The winner has to agree to the loser's request, how about it? Okay. Chi Yu came to the right and put his hand on the box. Su Mu raised the shovel, clicked it, and broke the lock on it. Chi Yu opened the treasure chest and took out a drawing from it. Exclaimed, Perfect level weapon blueprint, or special weapon, you will lose. Su Mu opened the treasure chest. Acquisition. Heavenly fetal meat 2. Heavenly fetal meat. The flesh and blood bred by heaven and earth, after taking it, can moderately increase the strength of the physical body. Note. The effect of the first block is the best, and the effect of the second block is reduced by 80%. Chi Yu took the Tiantai meat with a smile, and when she saw the attributes, her face froze immediately. Su Mu also saw Chi Yu's blueprint, Tisk, it matched his skills. Obtain. Red Light Sword Design Blueprint 1. Red Light Sword Perfect Level, a special weapon, a type of lightsaber that does extremely high damage, but requires soul power to activate. Note. This is a weapon that belongs to a warrior weapon, but it can perform magic attacks. Production requirements. Perfect grade Yanyang Jade 5, Fine Metal 2, Light Enchanted Book 4. Sunyang Jade. It seems there are. Su Mu took out a piece of red jade from the space ring, which was picked up next to the hot spring last time, a total of 10 pieces. The light blade skill is based on the lightsaber. I don't know what effect it will have. You won. Chi Yu looked reluctant. What do you want to ask for? Let's talk about it later, it's important now. Chi Yu understands that weapons will be eliminated, but the strength of food growth will not. The price of Su Mu's 2 pieces of meat far exceeds her blueprint. Leaving the cottage, the 2 of Su Mu walked outside. Su Mu has a feeling that there is a material that he wants very much, but the value is not high. What will it be? Walking all over the island, on the beach in the northeast corner, Su Mu opened a supply box. Obtain. Fine table salt * 1 bag. Obtain. Chili noodle 1 bottle. Obtain. Shaanxi mature vinegar 1 bottle. Obtain. Pepper 1000 grams. Obtain. Aniseed * 1000 grams. Seasoning. The two looked happy. It's really a good thing. Chi Yu unceremoniously took away the seasoning first. This thing belongs to me. I have learned cooking skills. You don't want to waste this precious seasoning. Su Mu touched her nose and did not refute. Nonsense, there are beauties who specialize in cooking, why stop them? Boarded the ark. At this time the sun began to slant. Chi Yu was making barbecue on the grill. The main material is Tiantai meat. Su Mu was fishing, looking at the map, and watching the private chat at the same time. On the map, the third island is called Magic Island. The people living above should be ogres. This battle is not easy to fight. The strength of the monsters above is far beyond imagination. Of course, the resources will far exceed your imagination. Before going, at least prepare a weapon first, or find a way to upgrade a superior weapon skill. Arm yourself to the teeth, otherwise, the chances of winning this battle are not great. The information from the sixth sense is very bad. Su Mu asked Ying Zhang to investigate the island 20 kilometers away. The four ogres are quite powerful, and they really need to prepare. Suddenly, a private chat came. Boss Su, I want a healing potion, can I exchange it with a special item? There are a lot of people who buy healing potions. At this time, one more potion is equal to one more life. But there are very few who pay high prices, and more of them want to use wood for free. For this situation, Su Mu directly turned on the shield, and any messages with wooden words could not be sent. Su Mu asked, what props? I don't want the rare ones. Trader. Sun Chenkin. Trade item. Intermediate weapon upgrade card. Requirements. 5 healing potions. Intermediate weapon upgrade card. The quality of any weapon below excellence can be upgraded by 1 level, the highest is excellence. Boss, what do you think of my price? I know, this card is a hot chicken to others, but to you, hee, it is a treasure. You won't miss the chance to get a superior weapon. Quote. Su Mu shook her head. 4 healing potions, plus 2 coconuts. I don't have much medicine. It's not easy to get together a few ingredients at this time. Make a deal. With the upgrade card, Su Mu has an idea. He can make 2 lightsabers, one is used to learn the skill of summoning the lightsaber, and one is upgraded to the superior quality. Hee, I'm pretty lucky. The medicine has been sold out. Su Mu shouted in the world, and then began to hang water. On this day, because of the long battle, the harvested water was only 5,000 milliliters. Trader. Su Mu. Trade item. Water 400 milliliters. Requirements. Enchanted Book of Light. Inventory. 10. Soon, the water was emptied, and Su Mu got 10 light enchanted books. Make a red lightsaber. A piece of material disappeared before Su Mu's eyes, and a large red light ball appeared in the air. The sphere of light is covered with mysterious runes. Obtain. Red light sword 2. The ball of light shattered, and 2 metal sword hilts floated in front of Su Mu. Su Mu picked it up and took a look. These are 2 small red daggers, the hilts are made of metal, and the blades are made of red jade, resembling a boning knife, with complicated golden symbols on them. Inject soul power. With a whoosh, a meter-long red light blade rushed out. The light blade resembles a taidao, narrow and slender, and it hardly feels any weight when it is swung twice. Take out a piece of wood and throw it into the air, and brush it a few times. The wood turned into 4 pieces and fell on the deck in midair. Sparks spread from the fracture, and the wood pieces were swallowed by the flames in a blink of an eye. Su Mu felt it for a while. In 5 seconds, he consumed 100 points of soul power. Under normal circumstances, his spiritual power lasted for 50 seconds. It consumes a lot. Su Mu took out the shining blade enchanted book. I hope you can surprise me. Enchanting. Light blade enchanting book. Consumption. Red light sword 1, beast core 1, light blade enchanted book 1. Acquired skill. Light blade summoning change. Summoning of the light blade modified. The summoned light blade perfectly inherits the characteristics of the skill in the lightsaber, and can use the soul force and blood value to maintain the shape respectively. The light blade calls. Su Mu stretched out his hand, and a red sword appeared in his palm. The color of the light blade was twice as dark as before. And as soon as the light blade came out, the surrounding temperature began to rise rapidly. Looking at the sixth sense, Su Mu felt. The consumption is still 100 points in 5 seconds, but the attack power has doubled. Very powerful. Su Mu put away the lightsaber, took out a purple card, and took out the second light blade. Upgrade. Obtain. Excellent red light blade. Upgrade skill. Magic armor comes. Consumption. Demon armor skill book 2, Beast core 4, excellence grade red light blade 1. A colored beam of light covered Su Mu, and Su Mu felt extremely comfortable. Demon armor advent LV3. All attributes increased by asterisk 2.5 times, block attribute plus 20, defense plus 10%, sword weapon damage plus 100%, duration, 30 seconds, cooldown 10 minutes. Note: after the magic armor descends, it will continue to consume chi, blood and soul power, each at 10 points per second. Su Mu calculated in his mind, summoned the magic armor, and then summoned the lightsaber. Each second consumes 20 points of soul and chi and blood, and it takes 50 seconds to fight. In other words, if I go all out, I can only last for 50 seconds. Taking a look at his attributes, he still has 800 blood points and 600 soul points left. Forget it, it's better not to die. In the end, reason overcame curiosity, and Su Mu didn't have all the firepower to dance a set of sword skills. It is dangerous to fall into a state of exhaustion in the magic sea. Come to eat. Chi Yu came over with a wooden tray. There are 2 gourmet meals on a wooden plate. It was 2 pieces of meat that had been cut, 17 yuan each. Emerald green orange leaves are placed underneath, and an unknown sauce is poured on the sliced meat. Anyway, before the meat arrived, the aroma had already arrived. Why is it so fragrant? Su Mu felt that the saliva was secreting extremely fast. For so long in the Demon Sea, he had never seen such delicious meat. It was baked before, and the taste was barely acceptable, but compared with this, one is the earth and the other is the sky. Chi Yu took out 2 plastic cups, and then brought half a bottle of tiger bone wine. I opened a bottle when I was making meat, do you want to drink the rest? Su Mu nodded. There is not much tiger bone wine left, 1 cup per person. Su Mu picked up the chopsticks, picked up a piece of meat, dipped it in some sauce, and stuffed it into her mouth. The meat is fragrant, soft and chewy, with the aroma of sauce and medicinal wine. Hiss, fragrant, this is the real food. Chi Yu was fierce and proud, like a proud little rooster. That's right, don't look at who did it. Soon after eating the meat, Su Mu felt hot in her abdomen. It is obvious that the physical body has become stronger. Su Mu. Blood value. 800 * 1300 increasing. Soul power. 600 * 1300 upgrading. Hiss, this meat is terrifying. Su Mu rolled up his sleeves and looked at the gradually bulging muscles on his arms. Hiss, it's really getting stronger with the naked eye. Picking up the tiger bone wine and taking a sip, the wine entered his throat, and the 2 data skyrocketed again. Cool, it's so cool, if only I could eat it every day. Chi Yu stretched out her jade hand and gently wiped the gravy from the corner of Su Mu's mouth and said with a smile, as long as there are ingredients, you can eat it every day, but if you eat too much, you will get tired. Eat meat, drink wine. For the first time, Su Mu did not go fishing at night and fell asleep early. In the dream, he heard that song Yao again. The wind blows the fragrance of rice flowers, the small river flows, and the black soil raises hard-working people. At 4 o'clock in the morning, the sky was slightly bright. Su Mu woke up from a dream, and looked at the corners of the lips of the beautiful woman beside her. In this cruel world, being accompanied by a sincere person is something that can't be better than Zinfu. After tucking in the blanket for Chi Yu, Su Mu walked out of the cabin and went to do warm-up exercises on the front wings. After exercising, feel refreshed. Su Mu turned on the system to see her own data. Su Mu. Blood value. 2000. Soul power. 2500. What the hell? Is it so scary? Su Mu opened up her 6th sense and began to explore the truth about her soaring strength. Normal human blood is much higher than soul power. Yesterday's is the same because I drank the liquid of ether and that set of excellent bedding. I ate celestial fetus meat and tiger bone wine yesterday. These 2 things have improved the body and soul power, but the soul power and chi and blood value should be the same. Then what is left? Excellence level quilts can't add 500 souls a day. Is there anything special about it? Hiss, could it be Chi Yu? System prompt. Qilin blood has the ability to exude Qilin's breath, strengthening the body and soul of those close to it. Really, Qilin belongs to the world of Shengxia. Shengxia talks about the balance of yin and yang. Before, I was too lonely, but now I have a beautiful woman as my companion, and I feel at ease. With Qilin's aura increased, it is normal to become stronger. After figuring everything out, Su Mu took the fishing rod and hummed a song while fishing. What? 10 minutes later, Su Mu felt the fishing rod sink in his hand. There are big guys. Suspected perfect level fish. Don't shake it hard, but loosen it and tighten it. The corners of Su Mu's mouth turned up slightly. First he loosened the fishing line a little, and then pulled it suddenly. A huge golden spear jumped out of the water. Su Mu unscrewed the fishing rod, took out the military shovel, and patted the head of the tuna lightly. The strength was just right, and the latter immediately lost consciousness. Acquisition. Bluetail tuna 1 perfect level. Is it decomposed? Bluefin tuna, perfect grade. Su Mu was suffocated for breathing. Bluefin tuna was a high-end delicacy in the previous life, and ordinary people could not buy it. Once in the Sakura Empire, a bluefin tuna was sold for a high price of 300 million. Tisk, 300 million, enough for an ordinary person to live 10 lifetimes. Let me try this bluefin tuna today. Especially the perfect 3 words. The elite level can improve physical fitness, so what effect can this perfect level of fish have? I really look forward to it. Breakdown. Obtained. Bluefin tuna meat perfect grade *12. Su Mu nodded. 12 pieces of meat are enough for 2 people plus an eagle to eat for a day and a half. If you save a little, you can eat for 2 days. For the eagle sauce, Su Mu treats it as family, so if you have a good bite, you won't miss it. Then, with great luck, Su Mu caught 3 more elite grade tunas. Something's wrong. They used to be ordinary fish, but now they are high quality fish. Could it be that the monsters in the Magic Sea have been upgraded? It's time to clean up the supplies. Su Mu decided to exchange the fine grade fish for supplies, and the 3 fine grade fish contributed a total of 24 pieces of fine grade fish. Trader. Su Mu. Trade item. Fine grade fish *2. Requirements. Any enchanted book. Inventory. 6. Now Su Mu has 2 books enchanted with ice, 2 books enchanted with flames, and 2 books enchanted with light. He plans to make these enchanted books into arrows. Only the elemental arrows can display the true power of the elemental crossbow. But the 6 arrows, both in quantity and type, are a little less. Su Mu turned on the world channel and started shouting. Excellent grade fish in exchange for perfect grade wood, metal, and even feathers, anyone who wants to come. As for the feathers, Su Mu went to Sakura Sauce, and after confirming that plucking a few feathers would not affect his combat effectiveness, he plucked out 4 feathers. Obtain. Perfect feather 4. It's really high quality. Feather is a perfect material, no wonder you dare to hit the enemy directly. A suit of perfect material is indeed qualified to do whatever it wants. Most people are sleeping at this time, but there are still many people who get up early and start busying themselves to survive. William Locke saw the shout-out on the World Channel and laughed. Boss Su, I have 4 pieces of perfect grade wood here, can I exchange them for 8 pieces of fine grade fish? Sure. Sun Chenkin also sent a private chat. Boss Su, I have 2 pieces of perfect metal here, can I exchange 4 pieces of fish? Can. Suddenly, Qin Fangfang sent a message. Boss Su, I have 2 perfect grade drawings here, one is a perfect grade double bed, and the other is a perfect grade quiver. Do you want it? I want to exchange 8 pieces of excellent grade fish. The price of blueprints is indeed much more expensive than the materials. Qin Fangfang can't make much money from the 8 pieces of fish at this time. The fish is gone, so how about it? I will exchange 6 pieces of fine grade wild boar meat and 1 piece of perfect grade fish, how about it? Su Mu decided to be nice to this blueprint dealer, maybe one day she will give herself another surprise. Perfect grade fish. Qin Fangfang's little mind was a little confused, but after thinking about it, it seemed right. If there is no good food, who will sell excellent food? Okay, deal. Su Mu got the blueprint, and when he raised his hand, the blueprint turned into light. Perfect grade bed. Fine grade wood 8, fine grade metal 4, sleeping enchanted book 2, tranquility enchanted book 2. Note: This is a perfect bed that can make you feel the warmth of heaven in your sleep. These two kinds of enchanted books are relatively rare. Perfect Quiver. Perfect Animal Hide 1, Excellent Metal 1, Speed Enchanted Book 2. Note: this is a quiver that allows you to quickly change arrows. Flawed materials, just collect them slowly. Suddenly, a scream sounded. Husband, our house has been burglarized. Su Mu was speechless, the Ark had no authority, and no one else could enter. I sold all the fine-grade fish. Sold. Chi Yu suddenly seemed as if the sky had fallen, and stood there in a daze, motionless. The mouth began to pouted, and it felt like it was about to hang the weight. Take it. Su Mu was sweating coldly, and quickly took out the perfect fish. Well, I have better ones here. Chi Yu quickly took the fish and took a look, his face turned into a flower with a smile, and his eyes narrowed into a crescent moon. Carrot, I'll forgive you this time. Su Mu was speechless, took out the materials she had just obtained, and started today's task. Create perfect arrows. Consumption. Perfect grade wood 2, perfect grade metal 1, perfect grade feather 2, ice enchanted book 1. Obtain. Frost arrow 1. Consumption. Perfect grade wood 2, perfect grade metal 1, perfect grade feather 2, flame enchanted book 1. Obtain. Flame arrow 1. 2 arrows, 1 red and 1 blue, looked from a distance, and there was a pale golden light outside. I should be thankful that I have the enchantment of infinity, otherwise I really can't afford it. Su Mu loaded the ice arrow and aimed at the distant sea. The soul power is consumed rapidly. Consume 200 soul power, copy an elemental arrow. Twice as many consumables as ordinary perfect level arrows. Su Mu pulled the trigger, and a blue arrow disappeared in an instant, and in the next second, it was 2 kilometers away. A strange scene suddenly appeared. Countless ice crystals grew out of thin air, ice thorns emerged one after another, and the cold air sealed everything in the surrounding 10 kilometers. A tuna couldn't dodge in time, and was stabbed into the sky by ice spikes in an instant, turning into a sieve, and then its body was frozen into a lump of ice by the cold. Gah! The eagle chirped in the sky. Ying Zhong skipped over from low altitude, tearing the ice with 2 claws, grabbed the tuna and brought it to Su Mu. Su Mu looked at the miserable state of the tuna, felt the cold temperature again, and nodded. 80% of the power can achieve such an effect, which makes him very satisfied. Disassemble the tuna into 8 pieces and put it on the shelf, or exchange 2 pieces for an enchanted book. It's time to form a team of your own. Su Mu feels that the island is now starting to have camps, and in the future it may be a city or a continent. At that time, he alone would not be able to collect the resources of the entire continent. He needed loyal subordinates. Su Mu took a look at the system functions and decided to set up a chat. As for the candidates, he had already made a decision. Soon, Qin Fangfang, William Locke, Sun Chenkin, and Chi Yu received an invitation from Su Mu to join the group. Chi Yu was fine, the other 3 were so shocked when they saw the invitation that they couldn't describe it in words. Is Boss Su planning to accept them as younger brothers? I want to ask you one thing. Su Mu did not invite, but asked, are there a lot of tuna schools around you? The others fell into deep thought for a moment. Qin Fangfang asked weakly, Big brother, what do you mean? Everyone already had the answer in their hearts, but they still wanted to hear from Su Mu himself. Su Mu pondered for a moment, then told about what happened in the morning and how she felt. I think that in the future, there will be more and more resources in the Demon Sea, and more dangers. Please verify it first, and reply to me later. This is a test. Su Mu wants to see the heart of this group of people, and then let the 6th sense confirm more things, so as to decide who will stay in this group in the end. Half an hour later, a message came from William Locke. There are indeed more than twice as many tunas around as usual, but for us, it is still very rare. You can catch 4 tunas within an hour, which only shows that your luck is really not ordinary. Chi Yu said. His luck has always been very good, but it's a little abnormal. His talent is not luck, and his luck is more perverted than mine. How did you know? The others were all shocked. Chi Yu is such a talented woman, she actually knew the talent of Mr. Su. Chi Yu put the grilled fish on the dining table. We're having breakfast together. Chi Yu doesn't care what other people think, she wants to swear her sovereignty. Su Mu ignored this girl and acquiesced to her actions. Looking at the Ogre Island in the distance with both eyes, Ying Zhong has already taken the mechanical eyes to investigate. Battles can start at any time. Hopefully, there will be something better this time. Chapter 51. The sun is rising, and the entire world channel has exploded. Has Boss Su started selling tuna meat? That's fine quality fish. Boss Su is already against the sky. There are 20 high-quality fish on the shelves, my god. 2 for an enchanted book, I think it's really dark enough. Then sell it, I'll buy every one of them. Very well, now everyone lacks fine flesh and blood, and eating it can increase their physique and give them more hope of living. As for the enchanted book, do you have blueprints? Do you have advanced materials? Suddenly a discordant voice came. Boss Su and Chi Yu are together. The crowd of the world was instantly aroused by the gossip. Boss Su is actually with Chi Yu. No wonder, Chi Yu is a fairy, no wonder he has such resources. Su Mu looked at the world channel and shook his head. He had a sixth sense, after all, he couldn't see a person's quality clearly through a system. Good guy, if you miss something, some people will start to cock their tails. Just in time, let's see how many of these people can stay in the end. Boss Su also said that he is going to accept me as a younger brother. Sun Chenkin said affectionately. Others let out a burst of exclamation. I'm envious, being the boss of sus little brother can basically mean having no worries about food and clothing. Also, Mr. Su said that there are a lot of tuna recently. Maybe the Magic Sea needs to increase the resource level and increase the difficulty of the game. On the World Channel, Sun Chenkin enjoyed the pleasure of being admired by hundreds of millions of people, and a touch of jealousy arose in his heart. Why did Mr. Su know so much, but never said it? If you understand, you can definitely become the leader of the human race with him. What Su Chenkin didn't know was that Su Mu had a double god-level talent, and no matter how much other people knew, they couldn't reach Su Mu's level. If Su Mu's survival method was followed, many people would not survive the third day. As time passed, Sun Chenkin wantonly revealed the news he saw in the group, causing bursts of exclamation. But there is not much news, he can only open the infinite repeat mode. William Locke couldn't help questioning, aren't you afraid that Boss Su will be angry if you broke the news that Boss Su gave as the news and revealed his personal affairs? That's right, you're causing trouble to Boss Su. Qin Fangfang's face turned into a bun shape with anger. Chi Yu looked angry. You will pay the price for your actions. Sun Chenkin said with a smile. I believe Boss Su will definitely feel that what I did was right. As a man, I should be worshipped by thousands of people. You don't understand this feeling. You women are just toys. Su Mu couldn't stand it anymore, raised her hand and kicked Sun Chenkin out of the group and blacklisted him. Once on the blacklist, he will not be able to buy the blood of Su Mu who sells the gods in the future, and even the things Su Mu sells cannot be traded to him by others. What? Sun Chenkin was dumbfounded. Big brother Su actually kicked him out of the group. Boss, I was wrong. Sun Chenkin realized something was wrong, and quickly sent a private message to Su Mu to apologize. In any case, you can't let Boss Su abandon himself and follow the strong, but it is equivalent to having a talisman of immortality. System prompt. You have been blocked by player Su Mu. It's over. Sun Chenkin hurriedly shouted on the World Channel. Boss Su, I was wrong, please forgive me this time. When the others saw it, they were overjoyed, and Boss Su was angry. This is because he is not going to want Sun Chenkin. Boss, accept me as a younger brother, I am very obedient. Take me, my ability is a cook, and the cooking is delicious. Sun Chenkin looked at the information on the World Channel and broke out in a cold sweat. He forgot one thing. That is, Su Mu has never lacked followers, and those who want to embrace Su Mu's thigh can fill a first-tier city. And I had the opportunity to get all these, but I lost this opportunity because of my embarrassment, and I was also hated by Mr. Su. On a small island far away in the sea, Sun Chenkin still wanted to beg Su Mu. Suddenly a wave of fear struck, as if the whole world was loathing him. The next second the world changed color, and a red thunder fell from the sky, splitting Sun Chenkin into ashes. Everyone on the World Channel was horrified to find that Sun Chenkin, who was begging for Su Mu just now, his profile picture instantly turned gray. Dead. Did Boss Su do it? I can't. Mr. Su, why are you so stingy? In order to prevent everyone from misunderstood Su Mu, Chi Yu said, Boss Su is fishing and has no time to talk to him, and we don't know where this Sun Chengkin is, and we only met because of the transaction. Su Mu shook her head. He is not a saint, but he also hopes that human civilization can continue. He deliberately disclosed the information that Mohai wanted to upgrade to everyone, in order to test their loyalty, and those who went out for a walk were kicked out. If no one spreads it, Su Mu will personally announce this message to the world. But only he can announce. This is his information, the right is in his hands, and Su Mu can't guarantee whether people who know the information will waste time exploring the island just to catch fish, but the fish is not caught, and the island is not. Explore, be trapped alive. Ying Zhang grabbed the mechanical eye and fell from the sky. Su Mu turned on the holographic projection, and the scene of the Ogre Island appeared. The small island is only half of the previous camp island, surrounded by trees and 4 thatched huts in the middle. There is a cauldron on the open space around the house, and 4 ogres are busy beside it. One is boiling water, one is sharpening a knife, and the other is cutting some seasoning. The ogre is 3 meters tall, muscular, and looks like a human, but its mouth is full of fangs and its appearance is extremely ugly. None of this matters. Su Mu actually saw that 2 people were tied to a pole and took out their pocket watches to check the time when the island disappeared. Sure enough, the island has entered a countdown state. Make sure it's a real person tied up on it. 10 minutes ago, Su Mu was still watching World Channel. Zhao Tuo brought his new girl, Song Han, to this new island. I happened to meet 4 ogres, and I thought Su Mu could fight 10, and if the 2 cooperate, it is also possible to fight 4. It's a pity that these 2 have higher hearts than the sky, and their strength is to die for. He didn't even have a plan, so he rushed up directly, but was suppressed by the ogre one by one. You must know that in order to deal with this group of ogres, Su Mu has paid a great price to upgrade 2 skill levels so that he can be sure of everything. Now the hapless duo are waiting to be cooked for breakfast by ogres. Hey, brother Zhao, save me. Song Han stared at the ogre sharpening his knife. It was over, he was going to die. Hey, hello. Zhao Tuo twisted his face, the back of his head was still bleeding, and his face was as white as paper. He met Song Han by chance just for fun, and today he wanted to kill the ogre just to pretend to be 13 in front of the beautiful woman. But this ogre was too ruthless, and immediately killed him. Brother Zhao, wake up, Song Han burst into tears. It's over, by this time tomorrow, she will be a lump of rice. It would be nice if the enemy was more beautiful, but she was so ugly, she didn't want to be eaten by an ugly monster. Beep beep, ogre number 1 couldn't bear it anymore, and let out a growl. Don't cry, I'm so annoying, if you cry again, you will be smashed into minced meat. Song Han stopped crying immediately. Su Mu shook her head and sighed. Drive the ark to the island. The battle arrangement this time is that Chi Yu will play in the back, Su Mu will charge in the front, and Ying Zhang will be in charge of supporting. Don't be afraid, you who have strengthened your skills, they are no longer your opponents. Above the sky, Eagle Sauce let out an eagle howl. Zhao Tuo and Song Han looked overjoyed. Has a monster invaded? Come on, let's have a dog-eat-dog game. The ogre was attracted, waving a large wooden club towards the sky. Facing raptors, ogres are also afraid. They are fast and powerful, and can easily steal their food. What's more frightening is that some large raptors don't mind turning them into food. Don't underestimate the overlord of the sky in this world. It is rumored that there is a bird of prey called the giant eagle, which is as big as a mountain in adulthood. With a flap of its wings, it can dislike huge waves of hundreds of feet, tearing apart sea monsters as like playing. Suddenly a cold arrow fell from the sky and shot into the eyes of Ogre No. 1. In the next second, countless ice cones exploded, and Ogre number 1's head was frozen and fell. Oh, someone, help me, big brother. Zhao Tuo hurriedly shouted, but he lost too much blood and had no strength left. Su Mu fell from the sky. There is no shelter here, a few trees can't stop the ogre's charge, it's better to fight. Boss Su, it's Boss Su. Song Han, who often travels around the world, recognized Su Mu at a glance. Summon the magic armor, block the left attack, don't be afraid, he has no ability to hurt you. The magic armor is coming. Su Mu followed the sixth sense and turned on the magic armor form. As soon as he turned around, he was hit flying by a big wooden stick. Cut. That's it. Zhao Tuo was desperate. It's not a one-shot thing. It's not a big deal to say how powerful Boss Su is every day. Su Mu jumped up. He was able to dodge just now, but suddenly wanted to test the blocking property of the armor. It's the armor that actively parried the enemy's attack, not defense. Probably, under the perfect level weapon, it can't directly cause damage to the armor, but it will have a knockback effect. If you want to really hurt yourself, you have to break through the block first, and then stab defense in armor. Bright blade call. Fiery air waves swept all directions, and Su Mu drew out a 2-meter-long slender sword. Tisk. As expected, the sword's attack power has been increased by 100%, and even its size has doubled. Su Mu's body was like a ghost, with smoke and dust. She pointed her sword at the ogre number 2 who was beating her. The trick just now was for you, but I will still pay it back tenfold. Inscribe my blade on my body. In an instant, Su Mu cut out more than a dozen swords, and the light of the lightsaber formed a sword net. After the light dissipated, Su Mu passed the ogre number 2 and rushed to No. 3. And number 2 fell under the horrified eyes of the two humans, and broke into more than 20 yuan. The broken flesh has been roasted by the heat and is still steaming. Zhao Tuo hurriedly yelled, "Hiss, Mr. Su Niu." Song Han looked disgusted. Didn't you just say that Boss Su is a waste? TCH, Boss Su is deliberately showing weakness. Song Han ignored it, but looked at Su Mu. If he could be this woman, survival in the Sea of Magic would not be a problem. Look at Zhao Tuo again. The more I look at it, the more disgusting I feel, when I think about myself and this guy yesterday. Vomit. Song Han vomited. She regretted it, and the gall of regret came out. In the distance, Chi Yu drew his bow and took aim. An arrow shot into the neck of ogre number 3, and the arrow from the perfect level wooden bow shot right through. However, the ogre clutched its neck and rushed towards Chi Yu, with anger that could not be concealed between its eyes. Eat you. Yingzhong swooped down, grabbed the ogre's eyes with a pair of sharp claws, and with a little force, the entire skull was blown away. Su Mu came to the front of the ogre number 4, swung the light blade, and cut it in half with an almost brutal gesture. The battle is over. Su Mu took off his armor and put away his knife. The battle took less than 10 seconds, and it was neat and tidy. The two people next to me were dumbfounded. Boss Su, help. Zhao Tuo quickly shouted, "This is a big boss, the kind who wants to go to Mobike." Stay there, I seem to have heard you speak ill of me just now. Ha, ha, Zhao Tuo was dumbfounded. Boss, are your ears so good? No, boss, are you so stingy? Su Mu raised her eyebrows. Hey, how dare you call me stingy? Just stay there. Zhao Tuo broke out in cold sweat instantly. This was what he had in mind. How did Boss Su know? Does Boss Su have the ability to read minds? Su Mu didn't have mind-reading skills, and his sixth sense told him that the kid was complaining, so he couldn't let it go. And this island has a lot of treasures. It is impossible to let this guy go without searching. Boss, please help me. Song Han looked anxious. I can do everything, and I am proficient in 18 cooking postures. Ah, Chi Yu walked over and gave Song Han a contemptuous look. Women, if you want to have looks without looks, or a figure without a figure, or five-handed, you still want to be close to my husband. Song Han was stunned, and looked down at himself. He was 24 years old, but under the washing of the sea, he looked 30 years old. Compared with this young and beautiful girl with 2 horns on her head, she couldn't compare. When looking at her figure, she has bumps and bumps, but the other side is even better. She is not the figure she should have at her age. She is a small orange, and others are big oranges. She is no match, and she is completely crushed. Ha, carrot, Su Mu is mine, how dare you snatch it? Song Han smacked his lips a few times, don't dare. Su Mu came to the first thatched hut, which contained a small bronze tripod, half the height of a person. Don't you think there is something wrong with this tripod? Su Mu pondered for a moment, touched the tripod with her hand, and swung it hard. Obtain. Bronze cauldron 1 perfect quality. Bronze cauldron. Refining medicine with this pot will increase the quality of the medicine by 50%. A good thing for refining medicine. Put the tripod away and make sure there is nothing else. Su Mu came to the second thatched cottage. There is a silver treasure chest on the ground of the second thatched cottage. As usual, pick up the shovel and break the lock open. Obtain ginseng seed 1. Obtain Ganoderma lucidum seed 1. Obtain blueprint of blood chi guiyuan pill. Blood chi guiyuan pill. Ginseng 1, Ganoderma lucidum 1, primary healing potion 1. Note: this is a great tonic elixir, which can replenish chi and blood within a period of time, eliminate various diseases, and strengthen the physical body. Su Mu cast a glance at Chi Yu. It's a good pill, but I can't use it anymore. Su Mu came to the third room and there was nothing. Wrong sixth sense. Su Mu opened her arms to perceive carefully, and finally came to the last room. There is a table in this room, and a card is placed on the table. Obtain Healing Skill Enchanting Permission card. Note: the healing system belongs to the magic system, and you already have the authority to use the magic system, so you cannot use it. System prompt: the gate of healing magic is on this island. Finally came up with a good thing. Su Mu breathed a sigh of relief and handed the card to Chi Yu. This is. Chi Yu took the card and was shocked, her hands were trembling. Is this the prop for Su Mu to gain professional power? System prompt: the Qilin bloodline recommends learning healing skills, lightning magic, and fighting skills. Limited. Husband, do you have any restrictions on learning skills? Su Mu looked suspicious. No, do you have one? Chi Yu nodded, and said softly, only when I learn healing type skills, lightning type magic, and fighting type skills can I be enhanced. It's talent. Different talents will increase their specific skills. And you are the only talent owner who can increase all skills. It's talent. Talent increases your skills. It's a bit like the spiritual root in Shengxia novels. If you have a fire attribute spiritual root, your fire attribute spells will be enhanced. Let's go. Go out and have a look, the gate of inheritance is here. Su Mu pulled Chi Yu out of the thatched hut and looked around. Finally, he fixed his gaze on the wooden pillars that bound the two. The wood of this pillar is unusual. This pillar is the gate of inheritance. Su Mu frowned slightly. This is an inheritance. If it is not necessary, I really don't want others to see it. Su Mu took out the tang knife, drew the knife and stepped forward, cutting off the rope binding the two. Thank you, Boss Su, we are willing to go through life and death for Boss Su. The faces of Zhao Tuo and Song Han turned into a chrysanthemum. No need. The corners of Su Mu's lips curled up slightly, and she raised her tang saber at the two of them. Don't hate me. Boss. Zhao Tuo was so frightened that he threw his ass on the ground, and there was a smell of urine, and he was so scared that he peed. We did nothing wrong, did we? Su Mu shook her head. Appearing on this island is your biggest mistake. After finishing speaking, he swiped twice and chopped the two of them to the ground. Chi Yu took a look, took out the boning knife and prepared to make two more cuts. What are you going to do? Su Mu frowned. Chi Yu asked curiously, aren't you going to kill someone to silence you? No. Then, the man can stay, but the woman dares to plot against you, she must die. Su Mu is speechless. Sister, how protective are you? I didn't kill them, but according to the instructions of the sixth sense, I cut them at a special place on the head with the back of the knife. Once they are seriously injured at that location, part of their memory will be erased. At least today's memory will be gone. They will only remember that they were still at sea and suddenly came here. Besides, I also want to rob some supplies. If you kill someone, you won't be able to open their ark, and you won't get anything. Chi Yu could only kick Song Han unwillingly. Inheritance is important. Su Mu asked Chi Yu to stick the card on the wooden pole, and a ray of light emerged, and the wooden pole slowly split from the middle, and moved side to side. A light door opened, and a small green ball flew out of the door. The ball flew into Chi Yu's alchemy tool table and disappeared. Is this the end? Feeling the changes, Chi Yu was delighted. Seeing Su Mu killing all directions, she also felt a sense of inferiority, fearing that she would be abandoned by Su Mu in the future because of her weak strength. Well now, she is a healing nurse. In a team, a nurse is the most indispensable part. Su Mu shook his head, pulled out the tang knife and entered the fighting state. The previous two had monsters, and this one must have them too. Something's wrong, this monster has no attack power. Chi Yu also saw that the situation was wrong, there was an enemy, so he quickly entered the fighting state. From the light door, a little guy floated out. That's right, it's a mermaid, juvenile, IQ has not yet fully developed, you can consider accepting it. A bit cute and stupid. This is a little mermaid, about 4 or 5 years old, and its body and tail are only less than 60 centimeters. The appearance is exquisite, the face is full of baby fat, the mouth is pouting, and the face is unhappy. She was wearing a silk dress, and her lower body was a light blue fishtail, which shone brightly in the sun. Puff puff. The little mermaid pops a string of heart-shaped bubbles. Mermaid Sea Angel Alice, harmless, be careful not to overdo it. Bubbles hit Su Mu's body one by one, and Su Mu watched the mental strength and blood value lost by killing the ogre slowly recovering. Su Mu frowned. I said, is your attack intended to suck people to death? Puff puff puff, da da da. Curious, Chi Yu stepped forward to block a bubble, and then she was hit by more bubbles. A feeling of refreshment comes out, the spirit and body are slowly recovering, and the fatigue dissipates. Food temptation, there is a chance to adopt Alice as a pet. Stop playing. Su Mu took out a piece of perfect fish, and said to Alice. Little guy, I have good fish here, do you want to taste it? Alice lost interest after one glance. Ada Ada Ada. It's not delicious enough. Su Mu handed the fish to Chi Yu. Make it delicious, and you can seduce her. I think this is feasible. Compared to a book with magic tricks, Su felt that it was still a pet. Eagle sauce has proven all of this. It has excellent detection and combat effectiveness. It can also be used as a shield in times of crisis. It has perfectly played its value. A healing pet is better than a fighting beast. What he paid was nothing more than a piece of food. For a lucky man like him who can catch a perfect fish casually, such a ration is not bad. Chi Yu walked into the ark, and 10 minutes later brought out a piece of delicious grilled fish. Alice sniffed the air with her small nose, and her saliva immediately flowed down. Rushed into Chi Yu's arms, grabbed the fish and started to chew, then bared his teeth and screamed as he was scalded by the hot fish. Slow down, no one will fight with you. Su Mu covered her eyes, no wonder the sixth sense reminded her to be cute, she was really cute and stupid. Do you want to eat barbecue every day in the future? Alice nodded frantically, holding on to the fish so tightly that her little hands were scorched red. Don't worry, it's just a burn, it's just a few treatments for her. You become this sister's pet, and you will have delicious meat to eat every day, how about it? Su Mu felt like a bad uncle who kidnapped and trafficked children. Alice hesitated for a moment, got up, and gently kissed Chi Yu's face with her small mouth, leaving a mimeograph. Obtain a pet. The Little Mermaid Alice, the pet system is activated. Alice, an ocean angel from the depths of the sea, has the power to heal all pain for others, and her skills are love bubbles that can heal everything. Chi Yu's face straightened. Is this the end? More or less. Have you ever met pets like pets before? Did Eagle Sauce take them in during the inheritance? Su Mu looked up at the sky and said quietly. My two are undead. They are ugly and have a bad temper. They were slaughtered by me. If they are beautiful, I don't mind keeping them as pets. Alice suddenly felt a chill behind her back. She was young and didn't know that she had just escaped a murder. Sending Alice into the ark, the gate of light collapsed. Under their feet, Zhao Tuo and Song Han faintly woke up. Why am I here? Zhao Tuo rubbed his head. Hiss, it hurts, as if I've been beaten twice. Suddenly, Zhao Tuo felt something in his hand. He took it over and saw that it was blood. What's wrong? Ah! Song Han got up, looked at the scattered ogre corpses in the distance, and screamed out of fright. Stop shouting. Su Mu blocked her ears. Call again, I don't mind turning you into real corpses. The two who heard the voice turned their heads and asked in surprise, Boss Su. Can you tell me what happened? Su Mu shook her head solemnly, I don't know. When I came, I happened to see those 4 ogres preparing to eat you, so I saved them. After finishing speaking, Su Mu took out some water and asked, do you have any enchanted books? Take them out, and I will exchange them with 400 milliliters of water for each. Zhao Tuo was startled. Boss, is this robbery? What do you think? Su Mu wiped the knife nonchalantly. When I was cutting the fish just now, it seemed that I accidentally got some blood on it. Zhao Tuo looked at the knife and fell silent. He always felt that this scene was familiar, but he couldn't remember it. In the end, the two of them were so frightened that they almost cried, and quickly took out 4 enchanted books, 1 ice and 1 fire, plus 2 speed books. Good. The attribute of speed is rare. Zhao Tuo and Zhao Tuo both held the water, a little dumbfounded. They are not short of water. To be honest, people who can go to this kind of place are not very short of water and food. However, Boss Su obviously saved them, so this should be regarded as repayment for saving their lives. That Boss Su. Song Han wanted to approach him, but was frightened away by a pair of extremely cold eyes. Chi Yu said quietly, "Since you survived, you should go. This island is my husband's and my spoils of war. If you want to snatch it, I don't mind turning you into 2 corpses." Only then did Song Han leave reluctantly, "But Mr. Su, the number 1 thigh in the world. If I didn't hug this time, I will have no chance in the future." After the 2 left, Su Mu searched the island again and found a supply box. Acquisition. Excellent metal 10. Acquisition. Excellent wood * 20. Probably nothing. Su Mu boarded the ark and found that the 2 hadn't gone far. This time I harvested 2 seeds and 1 prescription. A medicine cauldron, and a pet. Su Mu looked at the map and calculated the profit ratio in his mind. Probably, it was not bad. Alice, a little mermaid, is a big harvest. In the room at this time, Chi Yu took Alice to take care of the plants. Su Mu frowned slightly. The current situation is that since there are 34 potatoes and 40 herbs, the water resources are not enough to sell. Go get some more water. Su Mu looked at his drawings, the perfect water purifier and the perfect water condenser. Although he could make them, he felt that the production efficiency was not high enough. What's wrong? Chi Yu walked over. I think there's not enough water. Forehead. Chi Yu looked at the 3 water production devices that were working 24 hours a day, producing more than 10,000 milliliters of water per day. How should I put it? The 10 people outside don't have as much water as you alone, yet you think you have too little water. Suddenly, the private chat started to flicker, and when I opened it, it was Qin Fangfang. "Boss, I have a special enchanted book here, do you want it?" "What enchanted book?" Su Mu frowned slightly, feeling ominous from her 6th sense. Qin Fangfang encountered a problem and was suspected of being hunted down. "It's a healing enchantment book, and a blueprint for upgrading the alchemy tool table." "What do you want?" Qin Fangfang looked into the distance. 2 arcs were rapidly approaching, and she could already see 2 ferocious smiling faces on them. "The visitor is not good. A weapon, I am being hunted down, I want a sophisticated weapon to defend myself." Su Mu pondered for a moment. He called Chi Yu over. "Bring your excellent hand crossbow and boning knife, and I will make a deal." Trader. Su Mu. Trading items. Excellent grade military crossbow 1, arrow 10, excellent grade boning knife. Requirements. Alchemy tool table upgrade blueprint, healing enchanted book. Qin Fangfang looked at the props and was so excited that she almost cried. As expected of Boss Su, he is reliable at critical moments. In the distance, 2 arcs gradually approached. Li Juerin looked at the girl on the boat ahead, smiled at Wang Dapeng next to him, and said, "Brother, how about giving the women to me and the supplies to you?" Wang Dapeng frowned. Qin Fangfang. "Brother Li, are you sure you want to snatch this woman? She seems to be related to Mr. Su." "Boss Su." Li Juerin smiled disdainfully. "This woman is the one to grab. After playing with it, I will trade it with Su Mu, Hu Dan. Hehe, I will get a big ticket." The distant Su Mu narrowed his eyes slightly. Qin Fangfang is in danger, sophisticated weapons cannot save her. If you lose Qin Fangfang, you will lose a blueprint supplier. Maybe, you can contact the overlord of the sea and ask the whale family for help. Note, Qin Fangfang's danger is not from people, but from monsters in the sea. Killing sea monsters will bring unexpected gains. Su Mu came to the main driver and took out the microphone. "Hey, is there a big whale passing by?" The melodious whale song spreads in all directions. "Husband, what are you doing?" Chi Yu was puzzled. "Hehe, your husband, I'm looking for help from the boss." Su Mu yelled 2 more times, and a strange feeling came over him. Suddenly, a huge eye opened, and the next second, the seawater boiled. A huge whale as big as a mountain drilled out of the sea and stopped in front of the ark. "Ha, humans, your creation is not simple, it actually has the breath of our whales." Su Mu and the two looked at the huge whale and smacked their lips. Wherever you look, you can see the huge body of the whale. My name is Jingtian, the supreme person hiding inside. What do you want me for? Su Mu smiled and said, I have a human friend who is being threatened by sea monsters. Her name is Qin Fangfang. I don't know where she is. You mean to let me help you rescue that friend? No problem. Jingtian smiled. The supreme person is carried by the supreme luck. Although he is also in the game, it is only a matter of time before he becomes the overlord of the magic sea. If we make friends in advance, there will be another powerful one in the future, friend. Moreover, the enchanted book of the only sea whale song on the ark has a natural suppression of whales. Su Mu shook her head. It's just a way to save people. I hope you can help me drag that sea monster to my eyes, and help me see the fate of my friend by the way. Okay, it's okay, I'll go first. The whale sky rose slowly, and a huge door above the sky opened. Also wish you a nice happy day. Now, Su Mu finally saw the whole picture of Jingtian, which is a terrifying giant about 100 miles long. On the distant sea, Qin Fangfang was holding a sophisticated military crossbow, facing off against the other two arcs. Qin Fangfang, we are good people. Qin Fangfang curled her lips. If it wasn't for the fact that the distance was too far, she would have killed both of them with one arrow. But what she couldn't see was that above the sky, a huge whale hid itself, waiting quietly. The bait fate, tisk, unlucky kid, will be watched by those monsters all his life. Wait, is that guy fishing with this beauty? Second, this girl attracts monsters, and that girl kills them from behind. The praying mantis catches the cicada, and the oriole follows behind. Tisk, the monster that wants to devour the bait eventually becomes the bait for the person behind it. Qin Fangfang waited patiently. She had enough water and food, and she could afford it. At worst, she sold a few blueprints to buy food. Suddenly, it was dark. Li Juerin and Li Juerin felt that something was wrong, and when they looked up, there was a strange puppet standing behind them. What? Cluck, cluck. Above the sky, the almost invisible whale eyes shrank. Crystal fish. No wonder. The weird puppet exploded and turned into a ball of water covering the two of them. And there was a strange swallowing sound. Qin Fangfang was shocked. After the ball of water swallowed the two of them, it began to swim towards Qin Fangfang. Qin Fangfang raised the crossbow. Then let's fight. Suddenly, the water stopped moving, and Qin Fangfang saw a huge whale appearing in the sky. Hee, hello, girl, your friend asked me to save you. Jingtian easily caught the crystal fish. The crystal fish has no entity, just a ball of water. Is it Boss Su Mu? Qin Fangfang came back to her senses and gasped for breath. She was so frightened that she couldn't breathe and almost suffocated. Yes. Jingtian watched Qin Fangfang silently, waiting quietly. Qin Fangfang hesitated for a moment, and took out two things. Honorable Master Whale, can I ask you to help me deliver these two items to Master Su Mu? My pleasure. Qin Fangfang sighed silently while looking at the two arcs in the distance. When the crystal fish killed the two, their arc hadn't been put away yet, so the supplies in it naturally belonged to her. As for what she gave Su Mu, it was a real good thing. Su Mu prepared the materials for Qi Yu, handed over the healing enchantment book, and the alchemy tool table upgrade card. Girl, it's up to you whether you can work for me. Su Mu encouraged Qi Yu again. Consumption. Fine grade metal 1, fine grade wood 1, fine grade silk thread 1. Obtain. Level 2 alchemy tool table. Note. Activate the enchantment authority for your own body. Qi Yu looked at the black alchemy tool table, and took out a green enchanting book. At this time, even Alice came over, holding a coconut in her two small arms. The coconut was cut open, and there was nothing in it. Well, Su Mu was careless. This guy didn't come to encourage Qi Yu, but to eat. After paying a coconut again, Qi Yu began to enchant herself. Consumption. Healing enchanted book 1, beast core 1. Acquired skill. Elementary healing technique. Primary healing technique. It can quickly heal small wounds and restore human body functions. Ding. Temporarily add soul and blood value. What is your blood value and soul power? Su Mu narrowed his eyes slightly. What he wanted to know was this. 1000 soul power. The blood value is 800, how about you? Quote. It's 2.5 times yours. Chi Yu's eyes were shining with stars. As expected of my husband, he is really amazing. Su Mu was speechless. Suddenly, a whale song came. Little guy, I'm back. Su Mu stepped out of the ark and found a ball of half-dead water polo on the top of the ark. What you want, I sealed him, and you won't resist whatever you do. Su Mu nodded, and suddenly asked curiously, how did you find that woman? You are at a higher level, so you can naturally feel it. The strong can perceive cause and effect. Speaking of which, can't you also do this kind of thing? Okay, here are 2 more gifts from her. Su Mu took a look, her face changed slightly. This, obtain. Arc upgrade card. Arc upgrade card. After using it, you can upgrade your arc to 1 level and break through the upper limit of the system. Note, the upper limit is 5 levels. Obtained. Excellence level water source blueprint. Water source. It is one of the internal components of the arc. It can purify water resources and consume resources to condense water in the void. It is the prototype of an artifact. Requirements. Crystal Fish 1, Level 5 Arc 1, Excellent Level Ancient Whale Skeleton 10, Unlimited Enchanted Book 1. Hey, why is that woman luckier than me? It's not luck. Jingtian uttered a whale song. She is the bait, and she often picks up good things, but the price is also being targeted by various monsters, and she will die if she is not careful. Who is she? Chi Yu asked curiously. Su Mu talked about Qin Fangfang, and sighed. At the beginning, I just used it as a blueprint dealer, I didn't expect it to be like this. Chi Yu nodded and did not continue to ask. Forget it, let's leave her alone. Su Mu looked up at the sky. Brother, do you have the bones of an ancient excellent whale? 10 copies. Hehe, this one, I have it, but you have to exchange it for something. How about this, just to make sense, 10 beast cores. This whale wants to make friends with you. Promise him that you will save a lot of trouble in this magical sea in the future. Okay, thank you then, can I make a friend? My name is Su Mu. My name is Jingtian. Su Mu took out 10 animal cores, a stream of water swallowed the animal cores, and 10 fist-sized bones fell from the sky. This is excellent grade whale bone, 10 servings, enough for you to do what you want. Thank you. Okay, I have nothing to do, I'll go first. Whale sky melted into the void and slowly disappeared. Su Mu took out the upgrade card. Upgrade. A ray of light merged into the arc, and the white on the mechanical whale instantly turned dark blue, and the original black symbols turned pale gold, but the size remained the same. Arc mechanical whale. Level. Level 5. Ability 1. Diving, limit 90 meters. Ability 2. Sea whale song, whales will maintain absolute respect for you. Ability 3. Sumeru World. Sumi World. The arc uses mustard Nasuni technology, and the interior is self-contained. There are now 3 floors. Su Mu goes inside the whale. The cockpit inside has changed drastically. A sci-fi console with almost no changes in the control system. But there is an extra computer monitor next to it, and there is also a keyboard and mouse next to it. There are ventilation, lighting and other options on the monitor on the computer. The original ordinary seat has become a leather sofa chair. Su Mu sat down on the sofa. System prompt. Putting in the nautical compass can upgrade the arc system, small radar system, and automatic navigation capabilities. Fusion. Ability to obtain. A small radar system that can automatically explore the distribution of islands with a radius of 100 kilometers. Ability to obtain. Automatic driving ability. You can set the route through the system interface, and automatically control the arc to the location you want to go, freeing your hands. Su Mu got up and came to the rear of the cabin, where a staircase appeared, and the 2 floors below could be seen. Now the arc has 3 floors, and except for the first floor, the 2 floors are empty. The space of the second and third floors is as large as that of the first floor. It can also be said that the arc of the 5th stage is 3 times larger than the arc of the 4th stage. Su Mu pondered for a while, and decided to use the bottom floor as a warehouse first. The middle floor is used to create a small botanical garden, while the upper floor is used as a living area. Chi Yu came over and obediently stood beside Su Mu. What do we do next? Move all the plants into the second floor. Men and women match, work is not tired. 30 minutes later, there were 2 more cherry tomatoes, 34 potatoes, and 44 herbs in the space on the second floor. Among them are 2 hemostatic grasses, and 2 Luna grasses have entered maturity and are expected to be harvested tomorrow. After finishing all this, Su Mu began to shout on World Channel. Buy the Infinite Enchanted Book, come if you are interested. Soon, a man named Satuyi contacted Su Mu. Boss, do you want infinitely enchanted books? Yes, you have. What price? Satuyi pondered for a moment and replied, Boss, I want to ask a secret, that is how you got your job. Hee, you are very smart, but one enchanted book is not enough, and even if I tell you, you may not be able to get it. At this time, most people don't know about occupations. In fact, occupations will only appear after the system is updated. Normally, this update will be 4 days later. If you can obtain a job in advance, you can indeed be ahead of everyone by a certain distance, but the door of inheritance of the certificate is not so easy to obtain. I know, I'm willing to sell an infinite enchantment book, a perfect special blueprint in exchange. Su Mu pondered for a moment and nodded. Okay, you send me the things first. Satuyi was silent for a moment, then sent the things over. Boss Su, I believe in you. Su Mu smiled. During the exploration, you will get a mysterious card called a professional certificate. You can use the card to find the corresponding gate of inheritance, and you will get the permission to enchant yourself. After you get the gate of inheritance, you will get out of it. Monsters, you can try to subdue them, or kill them to get enchanted books. Then upgrade the alchemy tool table to level 2, and that's it. Quote. Thank you. This is not an important thing. When the system is upgraded, it will not be a secret. And even if it is said, is there anyone who has the luck of Su Mu to get all the permissions at the same time? Su Mu put away her things, went to the top of the ark first, and put away the ball of water. Obtain. Crystal Fish 1. Some surprises, but frankly, this is not the first time this has happened. Su Mu can pretty much tell what she wants and what she will get on her next expedition. Consumption. Crystal Fish 1, Excellent Grade Whale Bones 10, Unlimited Enchanted Book 1. Obtain. Excellent Ark Water Source. The water source of the ark is a rockery with a height of 2 meters and an area of 10 square meters. There is a water outlet above the rockery, and there is a reservoir under the mountain. Su Mu placed the water source in the innermost part of the second floor, and a part of the rockery merged with the ark wall to become one. Excellent water source. Ark will automatically absorb water from the sea and purify it into mineral-filled water through the water source. Note, it can run for 10 minutes by consuming 1 excellent wood, and it can run for 8 hours by consuming 1 beast core. 2000 milliliters of water per hour. The problem of water source is solved. Finally, looking at the new drawings I just got. Perfect level cold storage blueprint. One of the accessories of the ark, a cold storage can be built on the ark. Refrigeration needs to consume animal cores. Note, it is your best helper whether you store food or save important medicines. Production requirements. Level 5 Ark 1, Ice Enchanting Book 10, Excellent Metal 10, Constant Temperature Material 10. Su Mu took a look, and now he has 57 fine-grade metals. At this time, metals and wood are no longer rare items. A little exploring of both islands is enough. The last thing left is the constant temperature material. Go to the next island to see if there is any. Suddenly, an exclamation came. Su Mu rushed out of the second floor and came to the top floor, but saw a bloody guy lying on the floor. Alice is throwing bubbles at Shashisha. But this guy was injured too badly. Alice threw more than a dozen bubbles to barely hang him alive. What happened? Suspected victims, be alert, there seems to be something hovering around the ark. Alice treats for another 10 minutes, and this person can be out of danger. No danger, no hostility, this person is not a person of great evil. Su Mu sighed, put Tang Dao away, took out a small bench and sat down in front of this person. It was a woman. Who are you? How did you become like this? My name is Sun Yanfang. I was chased by a shark and accidentally fell into the sea. Shark. Su Mu took a deep breath, closed the hatch, and drove the ark to dive into the bottom of the sea, and was shocked by the sight in front of her. The sea is full of sharks. Su Mu quickly contacted William Locke and Qin Fangfang. Keep an eye on the surface of the sea and see if there are any sharks in the water. Soon there was also news. Yes, I have seen 2 sharks here. It's the same on my side. How could there be 4 or 5? When did they appear? Su Mu turned on the world channel and started searching, and an ominous premonition came. The sixth sense does not feel the danger, so the anxiety may not be aimed at oneself. What is it then? The appearance of the shark is a test. No, it is forcing humans to make a choice. Using danger to force humans to form a team. In this case, it is really a crazy idea to let humans form a team. Interesting. Su Mu searches the world, and sure enough, someone is already talking about sharks. And a large number of people have started to form teams. Team formation. That's a way for the weak to keep warm together. A strong man only needs one person. But it's really lonely for one person, and it's not good for 2 people. It's better to find 2 more girls. Su Mu pondered for a moment. This is indeed a good idea, but it will also cause problems with item distribution. Then the talents of these girls are different. Chi Yu is the main healer, looking for a treasure hunting talent, and finally a functional talent owner. 10 minutes later, Sun Yanfang stood up, and her injuries were no longer serious. Healing fee, 4 enchanted books. Su Mu said unceremoniously, there is no free breakfast, no free lunch, and no free dinner in this world, everything needs money. Sun Yanfang hesitated for a moment, and took out 4 ice enchanting books. Thank you Master Su for saving your life. I will definitely keep your secret, and I will not share the information here. You can go, it's better to go to the north, the islands there are less dangerous, I won't take you in, and you don't want to beg me, otherwise I don't mind throwing you into the sea to feed the sharks. When Sun Yanfang heard this, she reluctantly left the ark and drove her own ark to the north. Providing a safe direction is the only help Su Mu can offer. But safety also means little gain. Su Mu came to the driving area and clicked on the lighting option with the mouse. Under normal circumstances, there is no shortage of sunlight on the 2nd floor, but it is darker than the 1st floor after all, so Su Mu is going to provide a little artificial light for the 2nd floor. System prompt. To provide lighting for the 2nd floor, 1 beast core needs to be consumed every day. Do you want to continue? Continue. There are not many beast cores left. Su Mu looked towards the island in the distance, where a goblin camp stood. It's time for a hunt. Goblin Island 2. All precious materials are underground, it is recommended to attack by fire. According to Eagle Sauce's investigation, there is a small forest on the island ahead, ordinary wood, useless. Surrounded by a small stockade in the middle of the forest, there are 12 goblins and 2 strong goblins. On Goblin Island 2, one goblin is doing something indescribable with another. Suddenly, an arrow fell from the sky, and the goblin above was headshot. The goblin who was holding the ladder below was stunned. In the next second, another arrow fell from the sky. This arrow shot into the thatched cottage next to it, and immediately ignited a raging fire. Flame arrow. The sea of fire spread, and one of them struggled in the sea of fire. They wanted to rush into the sea, but they seemed to be hindered by an invisible wall of air, unable to escape. Soon, under the scorching flames, all the goblins fell on the beach. And everything on the island. All turned into ruins. Su Mu set foot on the island, took out the tang knife, picked on the ground with Chi Yu, and soon found 12 beast cores. There is a ruin at the center of the island. Su Mu came to the center of the island, which is also the center of the village. Here stands a dilapidated building that looks like an altar. It is very similar to the altar chamber where Su Mu found the medicine for the first time. Su Mu used a military shovel to dig out the floor tiles one by one, and the stones of the altar were cleaned, revealing a basement underneath. Su Mu walked into the basement. This basement was found to be a metal warehouse that had been abandoned for many years and was full of dust. On the left is a large row of what appears to be foam board. Su Mu put her hand on the foam board. Acquisition. Constant temperature material, perfect grade, *10. Okay, the materials for the cold storage are ready. Su Mu looked around and found a supply box. Acquisition. Excellent metal 10. Acquisition. Excellent wood *10. Seeing that there was nothing there, Su Mu turned around and wanted to leave, when the sixth sense came to remind her. There are still things in the ground, blast the ground with Kandlong Yin. Su Mu touched the ground with her hands, and said softly, the Kandlong chant. The power of resonance poured into the ground, and the floor was shaken to pieces in an instant. Su Mu fell down as soon as she lightened her body. He took out a lantern plant and looked around. It was an empty hall, covering an area of 400 square meters, with a coffin in the middle. System prompt. Found the dungeon Yunwang tomb, killed a zombie Yunwang to get a golden treasure box. The lid of the coffin was suddenly blown away, and the huge force caused the lid to be embedded in the ceiling. An arm as white as jade stretched out from inside, and then a beautiful woman in an ancient wedding dress sat up. His complexion was as white as snow, and his eyes were as red as blood. He was not human at first glance. Big beauty, you hand over the golden treasure chest, how about I spare your life? A pair of sinister eyes stared at Su Mu, and Zombie King Yun let out a roar that did not belong to humans, as if to say, "Ant, you disturbed my sleep. Zombie Rhyme King, it is recommended to kill. Killing degree, bruised bones and ashes." Sure enough, the beauties turned into zombies, all of them are very fierce. Yun Wang jumped up. She looked no different from ordinary people, but her nails were extremely long, and her eyes were bloodshot. He can't walk, he can only jump, and when he jumps, the muscles in his body shake. It's still from the Qing dynasty. The zombie in red looks particularly hideous. Strength is not strong, it can be used to exercise skills. In order to prevent the sixth sense perception in the future, but the body cannot respond in time. Su Mu raised the tang knife and touched Wang Yun's long and narrow nails, sparks erupted from both sides. The power seems to be bigger. With a slight force on Su Mu's wrist, King Yun was brutally pressed to the ground, and he couldn't help roaring. Facing monsters with high defensive power, you can consider Canglongyan. Su Mu put one hand on King Yun's chest. The Canglong chant. It was as if King Yun had been hit by a train, smashing hard into the ground, and the bluestone floor instantly shattered, spreading around like a spider web. Su Mu chuckled. Don't say it, this Yun Wang is indeed a zombie, he is really tough. The usual monster, after suffering this blow, is probably dead. Ah, I forgot to wear armor, sorry. Su Mu smiled charmingly. The magic armor is coming. The next second, Chi Yu on the top heard a muffled sound like a violent storm, as if a rag bag was being crazily beaten. Su Mu's fist was like a rainstorm, hitting King Yun from the sky to the ground, and then from the ground to the sky. The fist is a little to the left, the destructive power is stronger. Scratch head, knee strike, back fall, trample. Perfect. To be honest, Su Mu fought for 10 seconds, and felt that this guy was just average, only a little thicker, and if he really wanted to kill him, it was just a matter of 2 lightsabers. Sure enough, after becoming stronger, my sixth sense will give me more choices. Swing a fist and attack from under the left rib, which can destroy the zombie's heart. Su Mu pierced Yun Wang's left rib with an uppercut. Kacha, the sound of bones breaking, King Yun vomited blood, and his whole body turned into a big shrimp. Hitting the back of the head with an elbow can make King Yun lose his ability to move. Su Mu raised her elbow high and slammed it down heavily, making another crisp sound. Yun Wang's head softened. The battle is over, it's time to harvest. Su Mu summoned the light blade and slashed down with a sword. Obtain. Advanced Beast Core 1. The coffin in the distance flickered and turned into a big golden treasure chest. Is this the end? Su Mu came to the treasure box and put her hand on it. On. Obtain. Epic Milk Fruit Tree Sapling 1. Obtain. Low-level Team Card 1. Just 2 things. Milk Fruit Tree. A magical tree that can only be planted on perfect level land. Once mature, it can produce perfect level milk fruit. The outer shell of the milk fruit is milk, and it contains a mouthful of milk. The effect is equal to that of perfect flesh and blood. Note, this is something that can change fate against the sky. Team card. You can create a team, up to 4 people, with the ability to teleport teammates to your side. Su Mu nodded. The milk fruit tree is food, but the food obtained recently is really getting better and better, which really answered Totence's first sentence. Food and water have never been a problem in the Demon Sea. Su Mu checked and found nothing, then climbed back to the ground. Drive the ark and leave the island. Go to the next island. The sky is not dark yet, you can take this opportunity to explore another island. Rarely, an uninhabited island appeared on Su Mu's way forward. Su Mu hasn't seen an uninhabited island for a long time. Su Mu took out the map to make sure that the island was not on the goblin's map. There was an island here before, but for some reason, the island sank into the sea. This island appeared later. There was a deviation in the map. Su Mu pondered for a while, and decided to take a look. It looks like the islands here will change as well. Enter the Ark, turn on the radar system, compare it with the map, and find that there are only 3 islands left on the map. Tisk, this map is not accurate. Fortunately, the one that seems to have the enchanting table hasn't disappeared. However, you need to go there immediately to avoid any problems. Holding the map, Su Mu activated her 6th sense and inquired about the source of the change. The islands here change every once in a while. Husband, it's windy. Chi Yu's voice came. Su Mu stepped out of the Ark and saw a black cloud approaching the distant sky. Magic Sea announcement. Temporary natural disasters are about to hit some areas. 4 hours later, the number 1 storm will descend on the 8888 sea area on a sunny day. The wind level will be level 6 and last for 8 hours. People in the 8888 sea area should prepare for evacuation in advance. Su Mu stared blankly at the announcement on the regional channel, and at the same time, the whole world exploded. So that's what regional channels do. It's snowing on my side. It's raining here. A thunderstorm is passing by. My mother, I hope I won't be struck to death. Fortunately, the power of natural disasters is very small. 6th sense tip. Crisis and opportunity coexist. Natural disasters will destroy some islands and bring mysterious gifts. Exploring in the storm will bring you unexpected gains. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.